Hello? Hello? Guys, I'm here. You can wake up. It's time. It's time to start the stream. Let's see who's here. Damn, so many people to start the stream with. Guys, we've been growing in number. That's good. That's good. So glad to see all of you. Zikaruski with a base cigar. That's always a great start to the stream. Hey there, Von Clark and Booger. Yeah. Hey, send mocks you. I can't believe it all was fake. Yeah, but we'll check into it. We'll check into it more. Hello, hey there, Tabby. And Ain. Junie Uni. How do you do? Jinta as well. What is up, homies? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. Yeah, how many species are in the chat? I don't know. I guess probably. Listen, depends, right? We're all a different species. Wow, that's great. At least like 4. Yeah, what is that abomination on the screen? It's the one who does not shower. Is the Grease Lord. And I don't know. He thinks he has hair, but it's really just it's not. Like it's not. But yeah. It gets embarrassing. Bro, he gotta shave that. Absolutely wild. So we gotta talk about the Blizzard news. We gotta talk about that. Man, let's see. Oh, you wrote something. Okay, if that's not true, I can kind of believe it. It's always been suspicious that somehow they can drag a woman in the Bill Cosby room and no one person thought to pull out their phone and record it. It's not just that. It's all of the accusation they got, and they got an $18 million fine. So it's like, I don't get it. Like, how did they get an $18 million fine? That's the weird part. Just to be clear, I'm talking about the guy in the middle, the one in the bottom left looks handsome. No. No. He's wearing a wig. I'm telling you. I know him personally. It's crazy. Ooh, I got one comment. Vorax! Bro, where is Vorax? Vorax, are you in the chat? You haven't been on stream for a long time. He always commenting, though. Good guy, good guy. Haven't seen him. But, God bless, guys. We're gonna delve into it. We're gonna see what's up. That's crazy. It's, I think it's literally the worst day of my life. I can't, wait. Can I allow to call them, like, am I allowed to call them milk drinkers anymore and cube crawlers? I kinda got used to it. It's part of my modus operandi. How can I change that? I mean, breaking the habit is, yeah, and I hate my life so much. I can't believe this can be happening to me. This can be real. Please tell me it's fake. I can't believe that. It's crazy. God damn it. I don't know what's right anymore. It's such a damn shame. I just want to cry. Just want to cry. Literally, it's so bad. I cannot believe it. Okay, let's see if you had any video suggestions I might have missed. No. Feel free to suggest videos, by the way, on Discord, if you want me to watch anything today. I don't have work tomorrow, so if you're not going to suggest any more videos, I am going to play Warcraft 3, and I'm warning you. I'm quite bad. But we have to go through it. I want to play everything. It's such a good one. I've been recommended it. What the hell is that game? RTS. I'm getting recommended RTS games now. Jesus. Alright. Anyway, guys, you have any opinions about this? Also, we have some Classic Plus videos. Bellular video. And Classic Plus, someone who built, I don't know, a concept on his own. Sounds extremely interesting. I guess we'll have to watch those as well. Let's see. Do this. Maybe let's wait just a couple more minutes until more people tune in. Give them the opportunity to arrive. Tissue Man. Bruh. Come on, Phil. Haven't seen any of WoW stuff, so can't wait for the drop. Yes. Yes. Don't worry. It's going to be a good one. Imagine. Imagine. Ah, fuck. Wait. I have okay, check something. Guys, I'm tired. I'm tired and I've just woken up. I really need to get out of my job. Holy shit. I need to just be a full-time streamer. How do I do that? How do I get rich quick? How does someone do that? Do I like send fish emails to somebody? Drink black coffee? Bro, I don't drink coffee. I hate coffee. I love things that taste like coffee, but I hate coffee. Is that weird? Is that making me a weirdo? Transition? True. Win the lottery? Oh. It was always that easy? Apply for Streamer University? What the fuck is Streamer University you guys are talking about? Is that like a real thing? What? Bro, that looks cringe. The hell is that? Is it like a skit? The fuck? Yeah, that looks hella weird. Invest everything into a meme coin that shoots into the sky for 5 minutes and sell at the top? Damn, wait, that's actually a good idea. Become a VTuber? I would like to imagine what my VTuber avatar would be like. It's interesting. Become the voice of a generation. That's a little bit extensive, but sure. Let's see. Yeah, not sure you're dark enough for that? I mean, I can apply. I can apply. It's cringe Zoomer stuff. Yeah, I did not expect that. So it's like a Kai Cena thing. They ran into campus to teach people how to be a rich streamer instead for a Ludwig class. Was it like a meme? Or like it was actually real? Like they did it for real, or it's like it was like a joke? Go all in on Turtle Coin? Damn. Become a VTube, make Rose your avatar, play Guild Wars 2. Yeah, that's the fastest route to be insta-banned from Guild Wars 2. By the way, I should start, like generally speaking, I'm starting to crack it down more on streaming. And like I'm becoming extremely consistent. I'm going to upload shorts every single day. I'm going to like edit shorts, you know, on Fridays and Saturdays. And I'm gonna have like 7 for the rest of the week. I think that's like a good idea. I'm going to probably post on Twitter. So if you're not following me on the Twitter, you should probably go and do that. I haven't posted anything. I hate posting shit. But yeah, that seems really interesting. We're probably gonna do that. Probably gonna do that. Let's see. Someone actually did that after becoming a meme. They made a meme coin and went super high. Then they pulled their own meme coin. Damn. Base meconium. Get a high quality wig? Never. Why the fuck would I do that? What, are you insane? Guild Wars 2 players use Blue Sky. Get with the times? No way. I heard Blue Sky was like a place of miasma and rot. I'm not sure how true that is. I never checked it. I was in Reddit. That was enough for me. Let's see if there's anything new on the Reddit. Looking for a group, how it feels as DPS, sorry, refuel, healer, tank. True. True. Let's see Guild Wars 3. Anything of interest? Yeah, people really annoyed there's no Sylvari, right? Wait, there wasn't an arena post today? No? Interesting. Man, people already saying like species. Yeah, it's so cringe. So cringe. Holy crap. Dude, nobody talks about this game. The fuck? You have only 26k. It's embarrassing. My days. I guess it is what it is. The Azura. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Kind of weird looking stuff. Actual college stuff, just influencer stuff, editing tutorials, how to audience engage, but mostly folks trying to get the connection and do content pranks across campus around. So basically using random people for clout. Same as usual. Man, I love reality. Nobody talks about Guild Wars 2 either. Reddit is always dead. Yeah, little to no surprise. Reddit is a shill for Guild Wars spot? I assume so. Why? Sylvari were literally born just a while before the start of Guild Wars 2, so in like, yeah, 1k years, sure. Like 1,000 years. Makes sense. Makes sense. But, yeah, people are like really annoyed. I guess they really like Sylvari. That's pretty much it. Damn. I guess it is what it is. It's definitely one of those it is what it is moments. Guys, it's time. It's time to officially start the stream. So they had no they had no trees. Yeah. Well, no Sylvari? What do you mean no Sylvari? I have a tree planted right there. What, are you stupid? Sylvari design is pretty good. It is. It is. But then you have the Azura. And now I have to suffer them in like 2 different games. Blizzard Chaos. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Oh my god. Fuck. Okay, we're really gonna get into it, huh? Oh my god, I can't believe all the allegations against Blizzard were actually false. So I can't call them a bunch of cube crawlers and milk drinkers anymore? This is quite literally the worst day of my life.
Hi guys, it's me again. Today we're going to talk about the revelations recently that have come out about the Blizzard sexual assault lawsuit, investigation, controversy, and everything that happened in 2021, 2022. Now, for anybody who was living under a rock then, Blizzard went under a completely cataclysmic level of accusations, things ranging from, like assault at the workplace causing an employee to kill themselves, from employees allegedly stealing breast milk out of the,
Allegedly stealing breast milk. What a time to be alive.
Out of the employee refrigerator, and the implication, of course, is that they're drinking it like Homelander or something. And so all of these crazy, outlandish, insane accusations, wow, guys, big surprise. It turns out that a lot of them seem to be bullshit.
To be fair, it wasn't outlandish because it was Blizzard. Everyone thought it was like good. Everyone thought it was like, damn, okay, this is something a Blizzard employee would do. Not only because the game sucks so much, but because nothing made sense. It was a different time. They should have marketed they should have marketed better, yeah.
They found no evidence for many of them. They found that some people retracted their accusations. And if you go through a lot of filings with the California, the department that were investigating them, one of the points of failure that Blizzard had was the fact that they had a bunch of white men that were running the company. Oh my god. Well, if you've got that, it must mean that you're drinking everybody's breast milk too. Well, it sure seems like that's not the case. So anyway, I wanted to talk about kind of and break this whole down.
Wait, it's not?
Look and contextualize all of it. Like, whenever this happened, obviously, I think that it really was the perfect storm for Blizzard because, I mean, at the time,
Yeah, but like, here's something I don't understand. Why would you go through such extent with no proof whatsoever, and why did Blizzard get $18 million fine for it? From the state of California. Like, that's the part that I don't understand. Maybe I'll get into it. Like, I'm just so confused here. Like, because so many things happened. It's not like a one allegation. It was like an insane storm of every single thing that pop out, like mushrooms in a rain. That's why I'm so confused.
Shadowlands was a piece of shit. This was the current WoW expansion. Overwatch was garbage. People hated Overwatch. Heroes of the Storm was dead. You would say StarCraft is dead, but that would imply that Blizzard knows what StarCraft even is.
Yes.
And basically every other... Warcraft Reforged came out and it was terrible. Basically, Blizzard, instead of couldn't miss, Blizzard couldn't hit. They were getting every single thing.
Blizzard didn't even shoot, brother. That's the problem. That's what they did. They didn't even try. If they would have tried, they would have, like, Reforged would have been better. Instead, they just faked cinematics for commercial sakes and marketing, and they never even delivered. It was all a lie. I think that's why, like, people actually believed all of the allegations, is because Blizzard is a perfect culprit for that. Like, turning female into fruit, like, developers talking in a very weird, contextualized way, like a Frisiabi. A Frisiabi was a weirdo. Like, regardless or not, the things that he said in the past are really, really weird. Okay? And his messages that were leaked, they were super weird. Regardless if the accusation were false, or the Cosby Suite was even existing, like, what he said was really, really, like, insane. Okay? He should have been let out of the company. That's 100%. And nobody can argue against that. But, yeah, I mean, like, Blizzard just seemed to be going in that direction.
Wrong in every single game. And this was coming off of the heels of Battle for Azeroth that was also a piece of shit. So
True.
Basically, the amount of hostility, animosity, and frustration towards Blizzard was at an all-time high. Like, it was never going to be, any better, any worse than this. Then on top of that, Final Fantasy 14, they finally kind of come into their own. They're now are making their games the way that they want to. The game has its own identity. It's no longer derivative or, vestigial WoW systems, and it's really its own game. So you have a lot of people, including me, that moved over and started playing Final Fantasy 14 at the time. And I think what happened...
The FF14 Golden Age. I remember. I was part of that tidal wave. It was good. It was a good time to be alive, boys. If you had never rode that wave, it was insane. So many sprouts in FF14. I played for 6 months. Honestly, were the best 6 months of my life. I just kind of wish they updated the engine so I could play the game without feeling like I'm playing a game meant for a mobile game or like the GameCube. And that would have been dope. But unfortunately, since they vehemently refuse to update the engine, I'm not going to play the game anymore. It just moves like garbage. You can't really do anything. It has like input delay of half a second, which I understand why, because the engine was made with bubblegum and duct tape, and they have to make this in a hurry because the old game like cataclysmically failed. But it's not an excuse not to update the engine anymore. They should really be on it. It's crazy.
Happened is that happened, the sexual assault lawsuit happened, and you have to remember that like 2021, whenever all these things were happening all at the same time, this was like peak woke, right? It was like, this is the point where it was believe all women, every accusation is a conviction, and if you ask questions or ask for evidence, you are basically a rapist. So and you had an entire culture that was created around enabling this, and I think that culture, one of the biggest victims to it was Blizzard. Now, one thing I can say too, though, is that I don't think that all of the accusations were fake. I think that I think that sexual harassment. This is going to sound maybe a very black pill thing to say, but I think sexual harassment is sexual assault even is it's an outcome of the human condition. Every company, every group of people, like how many of you guys know somebody in any organization that you've been in where like something weird like this happened? I think that this is just what happens when men and women get together, and when women and women get together, you have different problems, and whenever men and men get together, you have...
Yeah, they create Shadowlands. Or Dragonflight. So I agree. I agree about that part.
Different problems. Like basically,
he ain't wrong.
People have problems, right? The human condition is imperfect. And so I do think that like maybe 20, 30%, maybe even 40% of some of the accusations made against Blizzard were accurate. And I think that they were true. And I think Blizzard should have been held accountable for that. But I think that a lot of the more outlandish ones, the, employee killing herself, the breast milk stuff, some of the like the Cosby room, all the like really extreme stuff, a lot of that.
Wait, but didn't you like have a literal picture inside of the Cosby suite? And weren't, like, text messages leaked of them talking about the Cosby Suite? Like, I remember that. I remember this. So, like, I don't understand. I think just some allegations were false and some weren't. We really need to, like, discern, like, which one were real and which one were not. I'm assuming the milk stuff isn't really real. But the Cosby Suite was real. Like, they had photos inside of it. And I don't think it was, like, made up or something. Otherwise, that would be, like, next-level scandal. Like, you literally faked pictures of Blizzard employees inside of the Cosby Suite. Like, it just... And text messages? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Stuff probably wasn't true. And we're not really 100% sure on this, right? But like, the California government and independent investigations, and also you have people coming out and then taking back what they were saying. I mean, you put all these things together and you're starting to come to, a bit of a conclusion that maybe this didn't happen the way they said it did, right? And so if there's literally no evidence that can be found by anybody, including the government, because you've got to keep in mind that an independent investigation, I don't want to go too far off in this tangent, but it's important to keep in mind, an independent investigation does not have the power of discovery. They only have the power of basically, surrender. So, like, if you surrender information to them, they will be able to use that information, but they cannot legally compel you to, use information. They can't necessarily go and get deleted files. They don't have the same type of forensic capabilities that a government does. But even the government of California was not able to substantiate a lot of these claims and a lot of this evidence. So that would lead me to believe that a lot of this probably didn't happen exactly the way that it said that it happened. Now, also, there's the other culture of the frat boy culture, right? And in my opinion, I don't think this is a bad thing. Maybe this is me.
What?
Maybe this is episode 3,957 of me being a chud, okay? But I don't think that frat boy culture is fundamentally a bad thing. I don't think that,
Well, I guess depends. It depends, right? There's some like good things, some bad things, but according to what we heard about Blizzard, yeah, it was all the bad things.
If you have a bunch of guys acting like young guys, or even old guys that also generally act like young guys still, like they all get together and they act like assholes. They're drinking, they're saying things that are crass, inappropriate, and I'm not talking about sexually harassing employees. I'm just talking about using coarse language and saying the kinds of things that guys say, right? These types of things are really not a bad thing. And I think that culturally for a while, for like a good maybe 5 or 10 years, I'd say starting in 2014, I would say ending in 2024 with Trump being elected, there was a idea that this level of like masculinity was almost synonymous with being bad, being problematic, being something that needed to be fixed, a problem that had to be solved. And I think that now, once, especially because this is what happened, right? You go back and you look at the old pictures of Alex Straza, right? Okay. She's the dragon, the red dragon goddess in World of Warcraft. And, I guess what the red dragon goddess in World of Warcraft looked like in the year 2007, right? I mean, this is obviously the hottest fucking chick with a chainmail bikini. Then they remake her, obviously, for Dragonflight, and this came right off the heels of this big sexual harassment lawsuit. And, now she's wearing way more clothes. She's, like, totally toned down. Boobs are smaller, all these things. And
How did they butcher her character like that? Shame on them. Shame on them. I think nowadays Blizzard like her more as the dragon.
I told people, I was like, listen, guys, like, let's be a little bit pragmatic here, okay? Do you really think that they're going to, right off the heels of all of these allegations, and also in the cultural climate, the main box art character is a big titty, pretty dragon girl with a chainmail bikini? Do you really think they're going to do this? No, they're not. It would be incredibly based if they did, but it did not happen, and it never would have happened. So it seems like this was a hit job that was done by a lot of the HR types. I think it was done...
Yeah, they cut all of our personality. Yes. Yes. And instead we got, like, Yasle Queen Sylvanas arc. What a damn shame. What's the worst time to be a World of Warcraft player?
Also by, people that are in... Like, Blizzard was always... I mean, let's be real, guys. Blizzard was a chud company. It absolutely was.
Yes.
They made games for chuds, and it was fucking amazing.
Absolutely. Yesterday, we literally watched Chris Metzen talking about being a geek and what being a geek is all about. Dog, that was so good. That was so good. All he talked about is, like, Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and Lord of the Rings. Dude was straight fire. It was so good. And EverQuest. It was, I mean, that's how you knew Blizzard used to make great games. When all they talk about is like the cornerstones of humanity at the time. It was a very old video. It wasn't a new one.
Had an incredible
obviously
leaders, didn't we? It was great.
You left off Warhammer? Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Great. But things changed.
My bad.
And I think that fundamentally the culture changed so much that they found themselves in a position because they did mismanage World of Warcraft. And I think this had nothing to do with women or, like woke or anything. I think they just fucked the game up. And I think that, you have stacking debuffs, and eventually so many stacking debuffs put you in execute range. And I think that really that sexual assault lawsuit really did execute the credibility of the company and also the capacity of the company to make a good product. I don't really think that anything that they've made ever since...
I'm not really sure how true that is, actually. I'm gonna make a very, very weird point. I think you guys would agree with that. I think that no matter what company actually does, company can be the most evil corporate overlord in the entire universe. If it makes a great product, people won't care. Like, people would not care. Like, how many big companies we have out there that we know for a fact is using stuff that are, like, illegal and stuff that I cannot even mention on stream, but we don't care because the product is good for us. Because the product is cheap. Yep. We have plenty. We have plenty. Like, if you have an iPhone, you know what I'm talking about. If you ate chocolate, you know what I'm talking about. We don't care. If the product is good, most people won't care. I think this just expedited the process of people hating Blizzard more, and it exasperated the entire thing to a level where it was blown out of proportion. Because it was just like, it was the butterfly effect. Essentially, one thing led to another, and it just eventually cascaded into a much worse thing. And it's all because Blizzard couldn't make a great product. That's pretty much that's what was like the start of it.
Then has been really that great.
Whose milk did Blizzard steal today? Man, Apparently no one. I'm devastated.
Overwatch is fine. World of Warcraft Classic is fine, or retail is fine. But I mean, nothing is like special, right? Nothing has like the same type of like cultural relativity that World.
Yeah, wait, did you say retail is fine? Like, okay, I guess he's not up to date. He's not up to date. Yeah, retail isn't fine. Like, retail is just garbage. It's straight up trash. We're not going to make this a retail discussion. We already talked about this pretty extensively on previous streams. Yeah, we're not in a great position.
Warcraft originally had, or Diablo 3 had, or Overwatch had, especially Overwatch, right? People see characters from Overwatch and they say, oh wow, she's from a video game? I didn't even know that. And that's where we're at. Yeah, they didn't say that in 2018 when the shit came out. It was a popular fucking game. Everybody knew about Overwatch. Now, people don't even know where the characters came from. So, anyway, this is a big problem. It's a huge problem, and I think it's really sad to think about it.
Bro, he really gotta shave his head off. Like, that's embarrassing. Listen, I'm sorry. I had to pause for this. Like, this is crazy. It's getting out of hand. I love Asmongold just as much as the other guy. But, it's getting out of hand. He's looking like the wise sage on the street that gives you nuggets of wisdom and disappear into the next tent. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a good look. Maybe it's a good look and I'm not seeing this. But I feel like if he shaves it all off, I mean, it will literally take like 1 second, or maybe if he takes a trip outside, it will just naturally fade away in the sunlight. He will look 10 times better. He needs to shave it.
I, in a way, feel guilty.
So bald.
Because obviously I was a big person who pushed this. I don't completely feel like I was wrong in a way, but I think at the same time, given the situation and everything, it does feel bad to know that, like the position that I was in, I believed a lot of this stuff, and I still believe at least some of it probably actually did happen. But at the same time, whenever you find out that you were effectively co-opted by a lie, I think everybody was, it can be very frustrating, and it can be upsetting, and it can make you feel stupid, and it's annoying that that happened. And I think that fundamentally now, one of the worst things about this is, I think this is the worst problem, is that whenever one of these big controversies happens, and then it manifests into effectively nothing, and it's even recanted and taken back, I think that what that does is it poisons the well for future survivors, for future victims, to be able to come forward and talk about bad experiences that they had. I might be a chud, I might be an asshole, I might be a bit of a sexist, but I don't think anybody should expect to go to work and be sexually harassed. I don't think anybody should expect to be touched without their consent, and I don't think that any of those things shouldn't warrant you getting fired. I think if you treat a person that way, if you invade a person's personal space, if you grab them in a way that's inappropriate, I think you need to leave the company. That's just not something that we do in civilized Western society. And I think that that's been the case for a really long time, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, I think that you need to draw the line and understand where a mixed signal or maybe an accusation isn't necessarily the truth necessarily, right? I'm not saying it isn't always the truth, but sometimes it's not. And so I think that really this should give people...
I don't know if he's going to talk about this, but false accusations should be dealt in the exact same manner the accusation themselves are. That's my opinion. False accusation is as severe as accusing someone and being right. I'm sorry, but this is true. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? It's the same thing that happens with doxing. There's nothing I would hate more than, like, being doxed. That's why I'm being so careful as a streamer, right? And whenever I see someone getting doxed, like, recently, we've seen that guy from World of Warcraft that has been targeted by this weird Red Empire PvP cringe guild in PvP TBC, right? In the PvP server. What was his name? Something Main? Nightmane, right? Or Nightman. Basically, he was doxed, he was forced to move. There is not a single reason to dox someone if you don't want them to be physically hurt in real life. The only reason you would dox someone is if you want somebody crazy enough to pick up the mental and actually do something with that information. And false accusation like that are not only devastating, they're life-threatening. The moment you accuse someone of something he didn't do and he's forced out of a company, it also leaves a mark on him. Because now people will always ask, okay, why did he randomly leave a company? Like, why did that happen? And what he's going to say, like, I was falsely accused, nobody's going to believe him. Everyone is going to believe the victim because we lived in a victimhood mentality era. And thankfully, it's, like, slowly fading away. We're going to touch upon that later. And, like, what is he going to do? His entire lives are in shambles. How many streamers we've seen canceled over false allegations? Numerous. Numerous. I don't want to bring up names and like get like really into it because if you know, you know. But that's insane. All of the people who falsely accused other people should be permanently banned from Twitch or any other forum whatsoever. They should be reprimanded. There is no dispute here. I will always say that.
Another reminder to trust but verify. It's important to make sure that we listen to what people who are, potential survivors or people who are, victims of these types of behaviors. We have to listen to them and at least to a certain degree understand what they're saying to be potentially true in order to investigate and figure out whether it actually is. But at the same time, I think that especially then and even now, we need to take ourselves away from the perspective of just looking at it from the dimension of, okay, well, this person said this, let's take it with zero evidence, right? And whenever you really go back and you think about it, and this is something that's important to keep in mind, what evidence really was presented?
Okay, there were like many messages, many pictures, and the other stuff was kind of hanging in the air. That's why I guess like most of it may be false, but some things were true. Like we did indeed saw the Cosby suite. And like all the Blizzard employees, including Ghost Squirreler, I think it was there, like holding the Cosby picture, and we have seen like officially having messages, unless they were faked. And that would be like next level scandal.
Evidence was really out there that Blizzard had all these huge problems. It was really just people.
And it's also like confirmation bias, right? Because whenever you see like something, you're like, oh, okay, the rest must be true. That's where your mind goes. And I guess it's just like human nature.
Saying this, right? There were no real pictures, there were no videos, there was no chat messages and anything that was leaked out or anything like that. It was just simply basically a he said, she said situation. And so I think that what happened now is that, we've had that happen and now there are people that come forward and they do say like, hey, I was taken advantage of, abused, etc.
Yeah, but didn't you like have the entire Blizzard crew rally up against Blizzard to take care of that? Like, was the whole thing just like a show? I mean, I remember people literally like striking against Blizzard. I remember that, like Blizzard employees doing that. So was it like all, was it all fake? Where like, weren't they sure? They just did it on a whim? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just too many things. You can't really know what's true and what's not. And like, why did they pay $18 million? Like, why did they pay that?
Because of the bad actions of seemingly the people in California and also Blizzard making these accusations or embellishing them seemingly, now it's going to be even harder for people that are legitimate to be taken seriously. And I think that's a very, very sad and bad thing to have happen.
He's right about that.
Really, to me, I am just disappointed in this whole thing.
They've absolutely poisoned the well for everyone else because now you're going to have a true victim and no one is going to believe them. It's the boy that cried wolf situation, but you are not the boy. Yeah, you just got screwed.
Disappointed to see what's happened. I don't really think that, if this hadn't happened, Blizzard would still be making games that are on the same level of aura of, the Warlords of Draenor cinematic. Like, I don't think that really would have happened either way. But at the same time, I think that it definitely would be better than it is now. And the more that I read the way the California filings, almost demonize the idea that they had a certain, dominant, gender or ethnic group that was running the company, and they looked at this as like an intrinsic problem, I realized that this seems to be a hit job. This seemed to be a instance in which they wanted this company to comply with an ideology, and the company was not complying with the ideology, and then they weaponized different complaints and different, legislative and legal and administrative and judicial things to punish them for not acquiescing and not basically playing along.
So that's why you don't hire the blue-haired Karens into your company, because you know they're going to stir up trouble. Why would you do that? You're literally walking into an open flame. It's actually Blizzard own doing regardless, because why you hired all of these weird labubu millennials and wine moms if you know they're going to just cause issues? Just hire competent people and you never have that problem. If Blizzard were to hire competent people that are actually rational and capable of critical thinking, not only would they've had a better product, they would have had a better work culture. The entire thing happened because they refused to hire talent. And instead they opted for virtue signaling and hired like a bunch of weirdo millennials that have no control, no self-regulation whatsoever, and they act on impulse. That's what happens. You play with fire, you get burned.
And I think that's really sad to see.
It is what it is.
Especially whenever you have a lot of people who lost their jobs over this. Obviously, Blizzard, it's like you used to, a lot of people, like every game dev that I know, right, or anybody that I knew that got into game dev or whatever, they would always tell me, like, well, the dream job is to be able to work at Blizzard, right? Well, now you don't want to work at Blizzard because people ask you, like, okay, so who was drinking the breast milk, right? And it just,
I like how we're taking turns, or how does it work there, man? Like, we have to sign up for the fridge rating? Like, what is up?
It's not as exciting as people that want to know what the new WoW expansion is, okay? So it's a little bit awkward, you could say. So that's really the video I wanted to talk about. Right now, it's always going to be, I think it'll forever be a he said, she said situation. I think many of the accusations probably were to some degree true, but at the extent that they were, presented, it's probably not accurate. And it seemed like Blizzard was not acquiescing to the, woke identity, politics, agenda stuff. And this was, of course, evidenced in, of course, what I said before, the filings, right? This was defined as a problem. And fundamentally, I think that there is a war on, that type of culture. And the people that use these types of rules will do this, and they will weaponize and pull every lever they possibly can. And I think that it's important that us that are normal people, right, have to make sure that we have our guard up and not let these people subvert us or lie or take advantage of us like they have many times. And I think this is just one more example of it. And I wanted to make this video and talk about it and just kind of set the record straight, at least the best that I can, because I talked about it a lot whenever it happened. So I'd be curious to hear everybody else's thoughts on this and what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'll be keeping up with this as, more pieces of information arise. But ultimately, it's just really sad to see what happened. And I hope that, I hope things can get better. And I hope, obviously, we can move past this hysteria. I think that we already are.
We are.
As evidenced by the amount of blowback and hostility for, these accusations now. But it's a long road to go. And we're not there yet, but I'm glad to see at least one of these things that was bullshit be put to bed. So anyway, guys.
Great video. Great video by the Roach King himself. I'm glad we watched that. I have a lot to say about this myself. I'm probably going to make my own video like tomorrow or like 2 days from now, so I'm not going to go into it like too much, but basically what he said towards the end there is absolutely true. Their entire apparatus falls apart. These people know that right now the power, the fringe power they hold in society is slowly slipping their grasp, and they're afraid. They're afraid of rational people like ourselves coming over and taking back control and bringing things to the right place, which is, common sense. And I have so much to talk about this, but believe me, I'm gonna go into it like on a later video, but I'm telling you, like, this thing is just the beginning. We're gonna see way, way more cracks in many other companies, and I think more and more we have started seeing a lot of those, like Ubisoft failing, Bethesda. They're just starting to realize that, okay, like, the virtue signaling isn't working, the DEI stuff, it's not it, chief. And they're slowly starting to understand we're still, like Asvin said, we're long way to go, but we're getting there. Slowly, but surely. Let's see. The Cosby Suite was completely made up and non-sense. Everyone had already spoken up on it. But you literally had, like, the picture. You literally had, like, everyone picture with Bill Cosby in the middle. Was it fake? Like, was it photoshopped? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, what is that? I would have nothing against purple pink-haired millennials if they didn't project themselves, their political view in-game. Absolutely. Nobody would. The book Play Nice, Schreier called the popular Cosby Suite portrayal completely nonsense and completely incorrect, and everybody got it wrong. He said there was no Blizzard suit devoted to harassment. Really? Okay, that's... I mean, listen. We'll have to hear more stuff about it. I don't know, because there were so many things. Like, there were so many leaks and stuff. Unless that was actually fake too, which again would be like next level scandal. I don't know what to tell you, really. It's just also weird. It just, I'm not really sure what to say. I guess it's just one of those we gotta wait. But false accusations should be dealt with severely. I do agree. I think we can all agree with that. But we need to wait until more information rises up to the surface. Basically just goes to show how many of, like, liberal fake agenda we have inside of our video games and nobody really cares about it. I'm just glad that we're almost over it. Well, still, no, actually not almost. Almost is like a stretch. We still have miles to go, but we're getting there. We're getting there. 100%. Anyway, let's see. Which games do we have? Let's see. We can go for this. We got WoW Immersion. No, actually, I want to say Classic Plus. Classic Plus is around the corner. I do want to see something about Classic Plus. Wait, let me just click this. Sorry. There it is. Yeah, I wanted to see this video. It was recommended to me. I think it's going to be a good one. I really wanted to see more about Classic Plus. That's interesting. You know that Classic Plus is going to be announced in like a month from now, right? Everyone is making content about Classic Plus and how it's going to be like the next big thing. I'm telling you, WoW players are coping out of their damn minds.
We talked about when Blizzard...
It's crazy. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, wait, what? Jason the Liar Schreier? Based. I don't know, I don't follow his shit. I don't follow any internet, like, journalists. They're, like, idiots. Heart symbol on her clothes. Oh, shit, I didn't even pay attention to that. Wow, you're right. She actually wears the right symbol. She's one of us. Surely every single thing she will say about Classic Plus would turn out to be true.
Last video, we talked about when Blizzard is going to announce the future of WoW Classic. Thor hates this, but I thought your comments were riveting.
Classic Plus is up ahead, boys.
Today, I want to answer an even more important question. Why? Why would Blizzard dedicate years of development and millions of dollars toward another version of the game that was launched more than 20 years ago?
That's right, folks.
I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
Modern Blizzard has multiple World of Warcraft teams and one dedicated to WoW Classic. That's a serious investment. And according to Blizzard themselves,
I just answered her question, by the way.
It wasn't just a game, it was an investment and research. So why now? I think the simple answer comes down to one thing: demand. And I don't just mean Blizzard's own servers. I mean the MMO community has been asking for a true Classic experience for years. Blizzard has released almost every version of Classic imaginable. Classic Era, Hardcore, Season of Discovery, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, even Miss a Pandera Classic.
No.
Some players would argue...
No. No. Whenever I see Panda, no. Let's cut it right there. You're right until Wrath of the Lich King. Cataclysm is a stretch. Panda? Ain't no way. Yeah, isn't it crazy that Classic Plus is getting so much hype and Blizzard has done nothing? And Guild Wars 3 is getting negative hype when ArenaNet posts something. Yeah, because people love World of Warcraft, and Guild Wars 3 is looking to be very DEI, millennial-coded, woke trash. Nobody wants that. Everyone wants, like, the chuds back, right? I hate using that term. It's so cringe. But everyone, like, wants manliness in their game again, and they think that Classic Plus can give it again. And I really hope they're right, because I hope for it, right? There's a reason why I play the Horde every single time. It's just, like, the cool faction. It's the better faction. Yeah, Horde is one true faction, rest is dead weight. Exactly. You know it.
That you're not really getting the Classic experience in Panda. Azeroth has changed dramatically, but through
she does
every
have
release,
she does have a
comments
Guild Wars 2
start to
box in the
surface.
background.
From Reddit,
I see that.
socials, YouTube. I can't wait for Classic Plus. Think about that for a second. Blizzard has given players many ways to revisit the Classic experience. And instead of satisfying the audience, it's created an even bigger appetite for something completely new. One of my favorite examples is when Season of Discovery ended. Instead of waiting for Blizzard, the community came together to start their own Season of Discovery fresh.
Streamers were so starved for attention that was slowly dying off, and they created fake hype to actually make sure their viewers would come in and give them more money. That was genius. That was a genius attempt at, like, that was a very brave attempt at the infinite money glitch. Unfortunately, it only lasted for like 2 weeks. And then the hype completely died off and nobody's playing Season of Discovery again. But they already made some huge bucks out of it, so kudos to them. They actually made it.
Thousands of players decided to restart together. No official server, no rewards, no Blizzard support. They voluntarily time-gated themselves and also wanted to recreate that magical, fresh server restart together. I love community-driven events like this, and it really just tells us something that Blizzard really can't ignore. When players start inventing the experiences they wish, that's a sign. It tells us Blizzard's current offerings are just not cutting it anymore. Let's start with Ascension. Ascension has
Ooh.
existed over a decade, experimenting with things that Blizzard simply couldn't do on the official servers. I see you, Savage.
Couldn't do. Yeah, couldn't do with their own engine. True. Nah, they just didn't want to. Because Blizzard are a bunch of lazy... Damn, I can't say even the word. I can get banned. They're just lazy, incompetent, greedy lizards that incapable of creating anything good. And that's the result. They just prefer to... They rather take down Ascension than integrate it into their own official servers. Because they're deathly afraid of being mogged on their own official BattleNet. It's insane. It's just embarrassing.
Just talking about Ascension in my last video. Their Bronzebeard realm mixed classic with modern systems. Mystic Scrolls were played.
It's nothing like classic. I played that. It's literally retail minus. Like, let's not call it classic, right? If you enjoy that, like, great. It's not classic. Stop. Like, it's not even remotely close. You quite literally one-shot every single mob. It's, and now the nerds in the chat, no, you don't one-shot, you two-shot. Like, okay, chief, sure, whatever. Like, have it your way. You two-shot every mob, and you just waltz through every other piece of content without really dying or taking any risks. But, yeah, like, it can be fun for some people. It wasn't for me. The Conquest of Azeroth, in my opinion, was, like, legendary. I did really enjoy that. That was crazy good. The new one they released. And also, I really wished I could have, like, played, you know, make your own character, Path of Exile type of thing. I never really got to it because, you know, obviously it's against TOS and stuff. I can't do that anymore.
Placed runes. I had so much fun as a frost mage going into dungeons and using the frost orb build and watching all of those numbers just stack on top of each other. It was also really cool because the frost mage could have a companion. It was really cool because I got to go out and tame my very own dragon. Classes gained entirely new possibilities. It wasn't exactly vanilla anymore, but players loved experimenting with it. Then came Project Epoch. Instead of reinventing everything, Epoch simply asked, what if we just made it better? Small class improvements, new dungeons, expanded leveling, more quests, more reasons to explore Azeroth. It respected vanilla without replacing it. And then launch day happened. Over 100,000 players were waiting in queue just to play.
Damn.
Not playing, waiting. The demand became so overwhelming that Ascension had to step in and take over. That kind of excitement is simply unheard of in a project like this.
And it just goes to show you that private servers, not private servers, like World of Warcraft Classic isn't dead. It's just waiting to be alive again. It's so simple. The moment Blizzard makes a true Classic Plus game that's actually good and are on Turtle WoW level, we're gonna see some numbers we've never seen before. Because you need to remember, most people still are afraid of private servers because of malware, you know, scams whatsoever, and they're right to do so, by the way. This is like completely rational way of thinking. If you're doing this, you're actually playing the game right. And once it goes live on Blizzard official servers, people will not be as reluctant to play it, or at the very least give it a good try. And I think we're going to see some Wrath of the Lich King numbers. Like 12 million subscribers active, maybe even more. I could be coping out of my damn mind, but I truly believe that if Blizzard manages to pull this off, we're gonna see that.
Then Ascension launched Conquest of Azeroth. But you know what time it is? It's time to ask someone who is actively playing on this server. Unofficially, officially.
Surely not you.
Let's go. It's time. Where's my phone? Where is my phone?
Couldn't be me.
Let's go ask. All right. Okay, it's on. Excuse me, sir. Hi. What you doing?
Not again. What's up?
I have a question. I haven't played this private server. It's called Conquest. You play on that, right?
Absolutely 100% not. And you definitely didn't do this last video you did. I definitely wasn't playing that exactly when you walked up. So, so everything I'm about to say, I guess, is from a friend's perspective.
Yeah, tell me why you like it, because I haven't played on this one.
I see.
Yeah, so, Conquest of
Surely she would not be obfuscating to avoid breaking TOS. Damn, that's crazy. She would never do that. I trust her. I trust her. She seems legit. It's fine. Yeah, I do miss the times when leveling required thinking, using class toolkits and resource management. Resource management hasn't been a thing, I think. Even in Legion, you didn't need to do that. In Legion, I guess, to some degree, to some extent, you could. But man, like, I played in Midnight and was the most horrible thing I've ever done. After 8 years of not touching the game, bro, like, I played a warrior, you know, obviously, right? My rage was constantly filled to the brim. Until you hit execute range and you start spamming executes, you don't even spend rage. Like, there is no resource management whatsoever. It's insane.
Azeroth is like 21 different classes that are kind of like themed around ideas and presentations that are already in Azeroth.
Yeah,
like
Microsoft is
Gods
going to
and,
fix
like,
Blizzard
Sun
shortly.
Cleric or whatever. So I'm definitely not playing a Sun Cleric, which has been pretty fun. Has the Eclipse system from like from Druids, the Moonkins and all that kind of stuff, but kind of mixes in some Arresto Shaman stuff. But anyways, I think what Conquest of Azeroth does well, it's an amalgamation of everything that Project Ascension has worked on over the last 13 years, right? So whether it's the Worldforge items out there, which is a really cool feature,
It was.
whether it's Mythic Plus, whether it's just a really smooth experience frontwards and backwards as far as leveling and mounts early on and all that kind of stuff.
I think the best part was the classes, really, obviously, right? Like, everyone played for the 21 classes. They were accurate to Warcraft lore. It was so good. So basically, in case you don't know, they removed like all the basic classes, like, Paladin, Hunter, and the way that you used to know them, and they made them lore accurate. And that was really, really dope. You had like the Starcaller, which is like an accurate Night Elf type of dude, just absolutely smacking people up. It was so cool. You could have been a Warden like Maiev. You could have been a ranged Moon. I don't know, like Ranger, like Tyrande. It was dope. It was absolutely dope. And they nailed it. And if Blizzard would have done that, they would have made serious waves in the gaming industry as a whole. Like, they would have become the juggernaut all over again. But they constantly refuse to adapt and overcome obstacles. They rather just stick with their old classes and constantly prune them and then give them more abilities that are boring or broken or doesn't even, function right. And then just do the cycle all over again. They can't even create anything new. Like, I haven't played the Evoker class because, I'm not going to play some furry dragon or, for the scaly stuff. But I heard it was, okay-ish. I heard if you played an Evoker, let me know. I wouldn't talk about something I don't understand in, but people told me it wasn't that good. I saw the Rainbow Beam and I went damn, that's hella cringe.
So I think it does kind of lean a little bit too much into retail, but it's pretty good. It's generally a pretty good time, and I think what people really rallied around with Conquest of Azeroth was the fact that there is 21 new classes and that feeling of discovery.
Yep.
Like, what did you just do? Did you, Primalist just put a tree in the middle of the battleground? What does that mean? Right, so... there's been a lot of moments, right, where those different classes will whip out a special ability or a...
Yeah, if Blizzard made Conquest of Azeroth, people would hate it. Depends. Listen, Conquest of Azeroth, a lot of people give it leniency because it is a private server and it is free to play, right? So whenever something's free to play, people will be way more reluctant to criticize it because it's free. You don't really lose anything, right? You don't really lose anything by trying it. You can just play the game. If it's nah, just vanish. But Blizzard, the moment they start taking money from you, it's a non-verbal agreement. It's just, how do you say that? It's an agreement, an invisible agreement, however you want to call that you have to give a certain level of product. You can't give out mediocre stuff, because if people are going to play a monthly sub fee, including a base game or a cash op, whatever, you have to deliver the goods. You have to do that, right? And if Blizzard made Conquest of Azeroth and it was this buggy, unbalanced mess, then yeah, people would have been mad. I think they would have appreciated the classes regardless and the new zones, but Blizzard would have to fix it. So I do agree and disagree at the same time. It's it can go both ways, really.
Passive or something like that, and you're what did that person just do? Which is really cool, which I think is really, it brings that sense of discovery. The same sense that I got looking up Thoughtbot back in 2005. What was that character's weapon?
It's Wowhead nowadays.
So, the sense of discovery and Conquest of Azeroth, as far as classes go, has been a really big primal mover for that game. So
cool.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah.
Not saying I played it.
Yeah, you definitely don't play it.
Absolutely.
Definitely don't
not
play it.
Slowing down an arena. Not definitely
Same.
an arena.
I never
with
played that.
Primalist and a Cultist and a God Hand and a Sun Cleric. That's definitely not what I'm doing. For
right.
sure.
I'd like to address the turtle in the room now. Whether you played it or not, Turtle WoW became the benchmark that people compared Classic Plus to. New zones, new quests, new dungeons, new expansion,
Good.
and more importantly, it still felt like vanilla. When Blizzard moved against this project, something remarkable happened. Thousands of players gathered together for one last turtle farewell. Reddit filled with stories of players thanking the developers behind this project. That kind of emotional support doesn't come from something unless you built something players genuinely love. So why?
I still think that most people were hoping Turtle Wall was actually somehow going to make it. Like, the moment I knew, even before like it was announced, the Blizzard lawsuit was announced, I knew Turtle Wall was about to be shut down. That's why I quit the game at like max, almost max. I think I was like 58. I was literally doing a Nixia attunement at the time. And like, you know, I just quit it because I knew it was about to be shut down. I knew it was about to be shut down, and I just didn't want to get hooked on it anymore because I know that Blizzard is never going to give me the same feeling Turtle has. I will always look back fondly on the Everlook radio and the endless nights I spent listening to it while leveling. It was the best thing in the world, like GTA type of radio inside of World of Warcraft. Genius. Genius. They brought actual DJs, they made fake commercials. It was so goated. And Blizzard would never do this. Never.
Do I think Blizzard is investing in Classic Plus? I mean, the evidence is right there. You can see it with the server refreshes, the private servers, players asking more after seasons of discovery. Players want more. My last two videos, all your comments, all your questions, my questions, all of this is building up to the biggest question yet. What should Classic Plus actually look like? Should Blizzard learn from Turtle WoW? Should they borrow ideas from Epoch? Should they experiment like Ascension? Or should they build something completely new? That's exactly what we're going to dive into in my next video, part 3. If you enjoyed this video...
Part 3? Damn, man, the creators are really milking the Classic Plus situation, huh? Well, that's interesting, but yeah, I mean, nobody really knows what Classic Plus should be because everyone has their own different idea of a Classic Plus. For me, Turtle Wall was great, but I would definitely like something more akin to Ascension in terms of, like, raiding difficulty, because I do love difficult raids. And I do love classic old feeling. Unfortunately, Ascension is like almost retail fast. It's not really there. If I had to describe it, it would have been like something between classic and retail, but kind of leaning towards more retail vibes. So it just like it depends, right? To each his own. I guess it's just a matter of just Blizzard delivering us something new. We really want a new experience. We want World of Warcraft IP to be good again, and this is something that 99% of us who looking forward for Classic Plus actually wants. But yeah, yes, yes, no, yes, true, absolutely true. What? Don't know how can Blizzard make it evergreen. How can Blizzard make it evergreen game? Because Turtle Wall was raid log too, with new updates pretty rarely. Yeah, it was like a free game. But yeah, obviously they couldn't deliver the goods on like regular basis, but Blizzard should be different. 100%. But it really depends. I think Classic Plus maybe should be like horizontal. Because you have infinite stories to tell, and how do you make all of them relevant? I don't know how you can do that in a vertical setting without falling to the same loop of, okay, now we have million of expansion piled on top of each other. That's like the difficult part. That is very, very difficult. And I think it will be like take a lot to nail. So yeah. Wait, let's watch this. Guys, this is an exciting video. Yes, but how can they make it horizontal? Like Guild Wars 2 has? Just you know, make items don't matter. Just make items without stats, just like Guild Wars 2 is doing it. And like Guild Wars 2 has been doing it for over a decade. But the thing is, most WoW players probably wouldn't like that. So like that's the thing, right? It's just a question of if they can pull it off. But they'll have to remake their entire achievement system. They would have to remake like how they do everything. It is going to be crazy. Ascension seems weird, not classic, not retail. Classes feels kind of niche, role specialization rather than actual classes. Really? I love the classes. I love the class. It's definitely not classic or retail. It lands somewhere in between, like I said earlier. But the classes are good. I love the classes. I saw the Stormbringer. It was dope. It was definitely dope. I always thought what if gear increases were by like 1% for some hard new content. I feel like people would still chase that 1% regardless. They would. But most people like to see noticeable change, right? Most people want to see a crit goes from 500 to 700. Or like from 700 to 1k. It's very important. Like in classic World of Warcraft, getting your first 1k crit, it's like important. It's like a milestone. You really, really feel that. And you can't really do that in a horizontal settings, I feel like. And they want to see damage goes up. Now, but do you have, like, you know, later down the road, you have the problem with Pandaria, which numbers were in the millions. And at some point, it's like, brother, what am I doing? Am I playing Diablo? Like, this is getting out of hand. And you constantly need to do a squish, so it's such a weird topic to discuss because you can't really find out the true answer. The answer is just, I really don't know. Like, in my heart, I wish it was vertical, but maybe I know it should be horizontal. Like, I don't really know. I just wish we have a good game. I just want to play a good game again. Yeah, I saw some Diablo video and dude hit for like 2.5 billion. Yeah, it just, that's the game. No, and I mean, ARPGs are like that. It's fine. That's what they're for. It's just incongruent inside of an MMORPG settings, at the very least in my opinion. But yeah, guys, I was really excited for this video. Because apparently some random dude upstaged Blizzard again. He built an entire secret zone for Classic Plus. Surely Blizzard would look at such a video and learn stuff from it.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this video where I'm going over an idea for a way that Blizzard could potentially implement a new leveling zone in Classic Plus that not only fits into Classic's existing storylines, but layers in the possibility for new ones as well. I've put a shit ton of time into getting this set up and editing this video together, so I hope you enjoy. Whether you like it or hate it, please let me know what you think. With no further ado, meet
instantaneously made a bald green orc warrior. I love this guy already.
Bald but cute. Our orc warrior will be taking us through the
experience. Wait, I saw that.
So, while the opening fly-through plays in the background, I want to outline in a little bit more detail what I'm going to share in this video. First is the baseline, sort of overall experience, the setting, the flow of quests, basically the experience that any player who stumbles into this content can expect to engage with. Through that, we'll discover a potential new faction on Azeroth that is introduced via this zone, one that could be used for future Classic Plus gameplay systems. Then we'll dive into two of the zone's secret objectives that require players to really be paying attention and exploring to stumble upon. And lastly, we'll take a final look at some of the zone's silent subplots and how they connect to existing stories in Classic WoW to show how the zone tells a deeper story than it may seem on the surface.
Wait, exploration inside of my MMORPG? Bro, Wowhead exists for a reason. Everything will be data mined the first second it releases, and everyone would know about it. You'd have to go the most optimal route to do like the secret fun stuff, even though now it's not even fun anymore, and it's not really a secret. Yeah, I just, yeah, is there any other species to play besides a bald green orc in WoW? No. Guys, I told you, like, my perfect idea for an MMORPG is literally this. You have an MMORPG called the Giga Chad. All you can do is pick male, race, human, gender. Well, male, I said already. Class, guy with sword. That's it. That's all you do. No mages, no elves even. Like, definitely not gnomes. That's what you need to do, and you have the perfect MMORPG. And WoW almost nailed it. They were almost right, and then we got the Drakthir. Oh, God. Base game? Yeah. Super secrets.
Alright, so Bald But Cute is ready to begin his questing experience in the Valley of Trials as he has millions of times before. But this time he notices something in the corner of his eye. Tucked away behind carts and crates is an interactable broom. One that's... Yeah,
sorry for pausing, guys, but I really have to say, like, whoever chooses that shade of green for the orc is kind of, it's a very dangerous person, and you should never come close to them in real life. That's like the Statue of Liberty green. I was never fond of this. These type of people always scared me. As an orc warrior main, by the way. You always go Thrall green, or just, you know, green. This is very, very alarming.
Seems to radiate with some kind of power. Bald But Cute grabs the broom and is not only teleported somewhere unknown, but finds himself transformed into a human. This is not an experience reserved for just orcs, though. Every race could stumble across a similar port key in their respective starting zones. Luckily for him, you know, if this freaks him out a little too much, There's a pair of ruby slippers in a chest at the foot of the bed, which will take him back home at any time. But assuming his interest is piqued by this turn of events, he steps out to discover a boy who claims to be his little brother, telling him that their mom is going to be absolutely pissed that he slept in again.
Wait, who's that
Heading
kid?
downstairs, his newfound mom is definitely pissed, laying into him that they're
Bald,
now
yeah.
behind on prepping for tonight's dinner, so he better get started by gathering some gore tusk livers for his brother's favorite pie.
Safe travel.
It's here that our handsome hero finally steps outside to discover himself in the town of Moonbrook, but not like the one he's experienced so many times in past playthroughs. The town, in contrast to its usual ruin and occupation by defiant bandits, is alive and bustling with townfolk going about their day.
Whoa. Okay, this is getting interesting. Hold. I think he's actually cooking, guys.
The sheriff in the town square has a favor to ask of you.
Greetings.
If you were already planning to head out into the fields, would you mind checking on Farmer DeMont? He was in town earlier complaining about some invasion on his land, and it's got folks around town anxious. Stop by and see what's going on. So, you head out west of town, and just like the hero's a legend, start absolutely going to town on some boars.
Class. Oh my god, what a nostalgia bomb. Holy crap, that's loud though. Holy. Okay, that's a classic. That's a classic.
Head
Wait,
to
just gonna
DeMont's
slay all of
farm
them?
nearby to find his field overrun by moles.
Damn.
Hey there.
He begs you to help him out, dealing with his mole problem, as his back just isn't what it used to be and the little critters just scamper away from him. Without even taking a second to mull it over, you get to work bashing some tiny skulls.
Okay, that seems pretty fun actually. I like the slow settings.
You get so into it, in fact, that even after killing the last mole you need, you decide, fuck it, what's one more?
Yeah, make sure you link it. It's interesting. Yeah,
Finally awakening from your blind rage, you head back to the farmer, who thanks you and sends you back to town to tell the sheriff it was a false alarm. No actual invasion.
It was a mole invasion. You got him. They got.
What can I do for you?
The sheriff thanks you for helping him out and asks your help in another task.
He slash clapped.
Thinning out the growing population of coyotes in the hills above town.
How are you?
Your mom, of course, also has another errand for you to run. Gather some okra from the hills for her family's town-famous okra.
I really hope she's not my mother because she's actually hot. I can't imagine even being a kid and having a hot mother like that. I knew one kid, like I had one kid in my class who was actually like really super young. She wasn't even in her 30s. That was crazy. And man, the way this kid got treated, I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be that guy. Okay, like that's it's problematic. I can already tell you that. My character will have long lush hair like Jason Momoa. Dude, what are you, an Alliance player? Get out of here. The hell?
Fish.
Shame on you, Christers. Only Alliance players
She
have
also
hair.
gives you a quest to go visit your class trainer to get some new spells.
Light be with you.
Then you book it out into the hills, where okra conveniently grows among the packs of coyotes. Skipping ahead through all the plant picking and wildlife massacre, you wrap things up and drop back down through the hills into town. The sheriff literally applauds at your return, totally taking your word for it that you actually killed any coyotes. Now that you've really earned his trust, he's got two final tasks to ask of you. One is an attempt to scare off an increasingly large gathering of murlocs by sending a little message, cutting off the head of their leader's mate. And while you're out there, check on the lighthouse keeper and his family to make sure the murlocs aren't bothering them.
Hello.
Your mom also has one more convenient errand, gathering some fish, possibly by beating the crap out of some murlocs. So, you head out west of town again, this time past DeMont's farm to the coast of Westfall. The lighthouse keeper welcomes you warmly, confiding in you that the gathering murlocs are definitely freaking him out. His family had watched in horror as a swarm of them tore through a passing merchant ship. Worse yet, it had been carrying necessary shipments of oil to keep the lighthouse up and running. If only there were a handsome, brave, bald young man that might retrieve some oil from the crates that have washed ashore.
He has to be bald.
You do what you do best. Get on one knee and pick through soggy wooden crates and start collecting oil. At your mother's behest, you also club some fishmen to death and steal their fish.
Man, it
You also
already
discover
looks
that
incredibly
Murloc
fun.
combat at 500% speed sounds like someone's beating a chicken who is also actively drowning. Further down the beach, next to an asset that I didn't realize had these fucking annoying particle effects when I assembled the map, you find Murgla, made of Murkite, and engage her in life or death combat.
Just get her. Just get her. It's a fish. It's got her.
After finishing a few more odds and ends, you return to the lighthouse for your reward.
How are
A
you?
ship's steering wheel pulled from the wreckage that somehow qualifies as a shield.
See you around.
The sheriff, the psychopath he is, literally jumps for joy as you hand him the severed head of a giant fish lady.
I feel like the sheriff is going to play like a villain role here. I feel like he's being a little bit too excited over you handing him some, I don't know, some corpses of like beasts or something. I don't know. I have a sussy feeling about this.
He rewards you handsomely with a choice of weaponry that I will now show off runway style.
Let's see. What the hell is this audio? Holy crap. This guy audio is like... it's so, like, finicky. It goes around from place to place. Jesus.
With that out of the way, you hand over your looted fish to your mom, who now dismisses you to rest for the evening.
Finally.
But then she's like, oh wait, actually I almost forgot.
A potential new faction?
Oh yeah, this totally slipped my mind, but some unknown hooded figure came by, asking for you today.
Have a good one.
He said to meet him in the basement of the inn or something. Have fun. But this should come as no surprise, for if you were aware of your surroundings, you would have no doubt seen the figures observing you from afar, hiding in corners where you would never think to look.
Well, oh!
Who are
Whoa!
they? How long have they been watching you? What do they want? You don't know, but you intend to find out.
Wait, that's cool.
Passing through the lively inn, you head through the back into the basement, where you find the hooded figure standing beside a swirling portal. He, in no uncertain terms, reminds you that you do not belong here and that it's time to leave immediately. He informs you that his associate will meet you on the other side to debrief. Before you pass through,
Yeah,
you
just go
notice
through
that
the portal.
stranger's part of a faction, the Collective. On the other side of the portal, you spawn directly on top of the NPC.
Wait, you're
because
an
I
orc
suck
now.
at entering numbers correctly. There you find Garrett, the Gaz Light. I wonder how he got that name. He tells you whatever you think you saw, you didn't. So you best just get moving along. From here, Bald But Cute is free to continue on with the rest of Durotar as planned. But he notices that the Gaz has a vendor window. Inside, he sees rewards which require certain items to purchase. What might those be?
Secret objectives.
If we step back in time, again, and speak to the innkeeper, we learn that she's quite overwhelmed tonight.
Hey there.
You offer to help, and she accepts. If you could take the keys from behind the counter and go clean the accommodations upstairs,
Have a good one.
now is the perfect time. The guest is out of his room and here at the table.
Oh, it's Edwin Van Cleef and
grab the
Bazile.
keys and head upstairs. I couldn't find a better door, so bear with me on the absolutely nasty cell door that this inn has for their room.
Peculiar.
You step inside to see things in a clean condition, but noticing a few big chests, one of which sits partially open on the bed. You lift the lid to find the chest full of bright red bandanas. A note sits atop the pile reading, "Distribute with discretion. Signed, VC."
Van Cleef.
You pocket one of the bandanas and leave quickly before anyone catches you, securing one of the items that Gaz was seeking. Over in the town schoolhouse, observant adventurers might stumble across a dusty tome laying open in a corner near the podium. Blowing off the dust, it looks to be a translation guide for Murloc speak. If only you could find a Murloc that was interested in having a chat, instead of just ripping your eyes out of your head. Keen on pursuing this goal, you head back out to the coast and
Yeah,
notice
a
a small
17
island
IQ
not too
Murloc. You
far
need
out
to
that
find
could
him.
be worth investigating.
The only one. Yeah,
Lo and behold,
was there a friendly Murloc ever in World of Warcraft? I feel like there was, and I can't seem to remember. But Like Tiny Finn? Like who was it? Like who was it? I don't remember. Jesus. Was there ever a friendly Murloc? Guys, I can't seem to recall anything. Maybe I lost it. Maybe I'm old.
You find yourself face to face with a juvenile Murloc Cookie who is both surprised and overjoyed that you're able to communicate with him.
So
He
this is like in
confides
the
in you that
past.
he dreams of one day being the best chef in all the seas, but there's one problem. He doesn't know any recipes. Maybe you know of some human recipes that he could follow to start his culinary training arc.
Looking for something specific?
No, in Wrath of the Lich King, there's some Murloc rep.
Back in town,
Really?
you speak with a general supplies vendor who happens to be selling a cookbook containing all of Westfall's best recipes. Cookie is brought to tears by your gift, feeling he is on the path to realizing his dream. As a reward, he hands you a damp piece of paper. It's his one and only recipe that he has ever come up with himself. Taking these two items back to the Gaz, he is willing to exchange them for things you can actually use. One is a cosmetic helm, just like the existing Red Defias mask, but no longer class locked to just rogues. And the other is a recipe teaching you to make Cookie's Delight, which provides an underwater breathing buff for 5 minutes.
Nice.
Okay, thanks for sticking with me so far. Last thing I want to cover is some of the underlying stories that this zone tells relative to existing plot lines in Classic. To wax poetical for just a second, I think a strength of Classic is the ability to quietly tell stories without shouting the plot out loud for the player.
Yeah.
Something I find retail to be especially guilty of nowadays.
Oh, what? It's Apple Toon's name? Shut the hell up. What are you talking about? I always wear a wig.
Examples like this crashed
Hater
racer in
Vinox?
Tanaris that has no associated quest.
Yeah, imagine playing World of Warcraft without having already figured everything out. That has to be one of the best aspects of Blizzard made Classic Plus. I think, like, no joke, you hit the nail right on the head there. I think that the reason people are so excited for Classic Plus is because they want a fresh experience. Because World of Warcraft is a solved game. Even retail is like a solved game because everything is being data mined into oblivion. You already know what's everything's going to be like the moment it hits PTR. And you can't really have fun anymore like the good old days without having 700 different add-ons that tell you what to do, where to step, where to go. It's so debilitating. Like, people are just tired of it. They want something fresh. I know, because I want it. I'm assuming many people are like me and you guys, right? It's just, we just want a fresh experience. We want stories like this. He actually done a very very good job at capturing the spirit of Classic with this, like, starting zone, with, like, the secret starting zone. Just have a chill quest, have a really great story. Is it the best? Like, no, but it's just so fun. It's just so fun to zone out, just read the text, and go through the motions. Just explore. Just explore. Even if the story is not that grand, it's really good experience. What? I drank soup so spicy I feel like I'm drunk? It's just so random. Yeah, everything is being solved and hyper-optimized. Is why I don't play Classic Era. I understand. I fully understand. I have so many fond memories of standing in school with my nerd friends discussing potential build of our WoW characters, or telling each other about some secret quest or stuff like that. Imagine how good that would be in today's climate. The moment a character comes out and, like, their talents are being revealed, everyone already have, like, set, like, the optimal path you need to go. Okay, this is what you need to build. If you do anything other like this, they divert from the main path. You're not going to be invited into groups, because every single thing is just, we optimize the fun out of the game. Everyone is just taking it way too seriously. And that's why Classic Plus should be like a different thing. It should go a different route than retail has, and it should be its own thing. And I really hope that Blizzard can pull this off, but I know that I'm just deluding myself at this point.
Or event. On the other side of the mountain, in the Shimmering Flats, you can find the origin of the tracks, telling a little story for anyone looking hard enough. Or how in the ruins of Lordaeron, you can still see the bloodstains on the floor where Arthas killed his father.
It's crazy that I only recently learned about this. Only recently my friend told me, like, dude, look where you're stepping. Like, you actually have the Saints there. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. I never noticed that. It's insane. Like, it's almost like you can learn something about World of Warcraft each time you play. It's so littered with small stuff like this that makes the entire world better, even if you don't pay attention to it at first.
And dismantled the once strong kingdom. It's smaller, unhighlighted details like this that I wanted to bring into Old Westfall. Starting off small, you can find both Blanchy and Farmer Furlbrow in town. These are, of course, some of the first quest givers you find when coming to Westfall. True to lore, you can also find Stalvin Mistmantle, current headmaster of the Moonbrook Schoolhouse, but future child murderer and legend of Duskwood. Next, if you were to explore a bit more by the coast, you'd come across a mining crew, led in part by Miner Johnson, who would eventually defect, or be forced to join, the Defias mining operation.
Well met.
The overseer of the gang is Foreman Thistlenettle, who players may know as one of the mindless undead trapped forever in the tunnels of the dead mines. Down below is a bustling miners' union camp, resting after a day's work.
Yeah, surely they won't turn into undead.
They too will one day join their foreman as the mindless dead in the tunnels below Moonbrook.
Damn, that kind of sucks.
Stepping onto the beach, we can do some hypothesizing over the outcome of the sheriff's idea to quell the rising Murloc population. In Classic, the ghost of Captain Grayson tells us that he bore witness to Old Murkai, leading a raid of the lighthouse, slaughtering the lighthouse keeper and his family, potentially as an act of revenge for the brutal death of his mate. Lastly, and most significant of all,
just find
the
another
subtle
fish.
hints that spell doom for all the residents of Westfall. At the inn, we find Edwin Van Cleef, future kingpin of the Defias Brotherhood, in conversation with Basil.
He did nothing wrong. Edwin Van Cleef did nothing wrong. He was done dirty by Stormwind. He should have been paid for the Mason's work, and he was right. He was right all along.
Thread, his right-hand man, who would come to lead the Defias Uprising in the Stormwind Stockades. We also, of course, have Cookie, the renowned cook of the Defias crew. But off the beaten path, amidst the rolling hills of Westfall, explorers can find a group of exiled Stormwind stonemasons being recruited by Garrick Padfoot, who would come to lead the Defias incursion of Northshire Abbey. A similar scene takes place elsewhere, this time helmed by Benny Blanco, head honcho of the Defias occupation of the Furlbrow farmstead. Up in the hills above town, you might stumble across a scary sight. A lone ogre, exiled by his clan, has taken up residence. This is none other than Roxor, who would find a new home as foreman of the Defias mining operation. Out at the lighthouse, players may have noticed a pirate ship anchored just off the coast, too far to see who's on board. But through some clever investigating, you find the lighthouse keeper's spyglass, which allows you to spot the ship's crew. You find none other than Mr. Smite, Sneed, and Captain Greenskin.
Classic. I always love the pilot to Treader design.
Players to engage with the world around them, to spot, tell a sad, dark story in contrast to the mundane main quest line of the Zone. It's a story of a doomed town, surrounded on all sides by a gathering storm. About a peaceful, content way of life that is soon to be forever stolen from the citizens of Westfall. Lives lost, families torn apart, due to conflicts that have nothing to do with them. About a place that was truly alive, now worthy of the namesake of the dungeon which lies below.
So good.
Dead.
Wow. Wow.
If you're still watching this video, thank you so much. To round this out, I want to walk through what I think some of the pros and cons of an experience like this might be in a world where we have Classic Plus. First pro is the introduction of a new faction. It opens a lot of doors without a lot of upfront answers. Who are they? What are their motives? How are they somehow able to travel through time? It leaves a lot of room for fleshing out and exploration that could unlock a lot of cool storytelling and gameplay.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this. I'm just kind of waiting.
Leveling zone, but without locking you into a decision right at character creation. In retail, Blizzard introduced Exile's Reach as an alternative to the traditional leveling zones, but it forced you to pick one, with no choice to reverse course.
Bro, Exile Reach was so lame. Whenever I came back to retail to try it out, I tried Exile Reach on purpose to, soak it in myself and understand what I'm doing. It was so bad. It felt like a mobile game ad. It was so bad. It was truly the worst experience ever. everything is light speed fast. You can't really even like understand what the hell you're doing. The story doesn't make any sense, and they have changed it, I think, like a couple of times. It was just such a bad experience. I did not enjoy it at all. It wasn't even feeling like I was playing a game. It felt like I was just kind of going through the motion, and it was whatever. It's like go in a straight line. You're on a treadmill. You're on a treadmill, and it's an infinite loop. You're not doing anything.
With Old Westfall, players can freely move in and out of the experience at any time if they change their mind. Another cool perk is the ability for players to pick different races, but still play levels 1 through 5 together. I've definitely had times playing with friends where we each have different races in mind, but you have to compromise so that you can start out together.
No, I actually think that this is a bad one. I actually think that this is a con. I love that each race has its own zone, and I would have liked for each race to have its own story. So, for example, you choose a human and you got the Westfall story, just magnificent, perfect. If you choose to be, well, I guess an orc, maybe an orc. Okay, you know, maybe you choose an orc and you get to see like the desolation that was before they actually started, you know, their huts and actually built their zones and all of that. Because the orcs were incredibly dejected. They were like scattered, they were famished, they didn't have anything. They constantly got into like infights and all of that. So that could have been insane if you like got to experience that. Because the entire land was barren. It was a desolate place. That can be like really, really cool if you get to see that.
Past level 5 though, players still have to figure out how to meet up. That means all the existing rites of passage, like Tauren hoofing it through the Barrens to reach Orgrimmar, or Night Elves risking it all going through the wetlands. Another pro is the idea of the unique quest rewards from the zone being talking pieces back in the open world. Anyone who played back in vanilla remembers the experience of seeing someone walking around with a cool piece of gear and whispering them, asking, yo, where did you get that? More recently in Season of Discovery, players got to experience something similar at launch, seeing someone cast some crazy ability and reaching out to ask where they found that rune. Both the cosmetic Red Defias mask and many of the weapons from Old Westfall could be a similar thing, creating moments of organic connection for players who don't yet know about the secret level.
Damn, I didn't know Thrall was
moving
like that.
The last pro is that the zone isn't inventing something new. Instead, it's exploring an existing storyline from a new lens. Across the board...
That's a good thing. That is a good thing. Just expand on the already vast world of Warcraft. I mean, we have a lot of stories that were lost to the ages. Classic Plus is the perfect opportunity to actually explore them and maybe reinvent and take them in a new direction that the original idea had. Like, you should definitely get that. Like, you should finish the Missing Ambassador quests. Everyone is begging for that. It was like the Varian quest. Yeah, or sorry, the Missing Diplomat. No, wait, I'm confusing the two, sorry. What was the Varian quest? How was it named? Was it like Missing Person? I'm confusing the two. The Varian Rin quest, basically. The Missing King, the Lost King, whatever. I forgot the name of it. Just, I get confused, I think, between the two. But everyone wants it back. Everyone wants it to be completed instead of you doing, like, half the quest. And it's like, okay, we're gonna take it from here. Like, no. Let us finish it. Fully. Let us see him as Logosh, as, like, the arena fighter. That can be dope. And his entire crew with Valera. And then you had, like, the druid and the orc, I think. That can be insanely cool, and they need to do that.
I'm hoping that Blizzard uses the opportunity of Classic Plus to go deeper on the world that the original game developed, in addition to creating new stories, of course. There are big ones, like Mount Highjaw, or what's up with the Instance Portal and Stormwind.
It was a housing feature. They never got to complete it. They only got it in midnight, unironically, which is, well, now you have to pay real-life money to not look poor. Great.
But I think equally as valuable are smaller stories, ones that develop the entire open world into something with more depth. And finally, I want to offer some critiques to my own ideas. Pretty much the entire concept is based on the assumption that players have experienced the game, namely current day Westfall and the Dead Mines dungeon. This makes it pretty unfriendly and potentially extremely confusing.
So explain it better. Just assume that someone is new and playing the game for the first time, and it's like, oh, I don't know what Westfall is, so, okay, great, I get to play it from the very beginning, before it was destroyed. I don't think it's like a con. I think it's a pro. I think it's a massive W if they actually do that. Like, that's an incredible idea. You get to play from the start. That's the best thing in the world.
New players. Though I would counter my own critique by saying that new players probably wouldn't stumble into this secret zone. Another is one that I truly believe. One of Classic's strongest values is that it required you to make choices. Retail has become notoriously homogenous. Classes can pretty much all do everything, and faction or racial conflicts and differences are nowhere near as pivotal to the world as they once were. In Classic, if you want to be a shaman, you need to be Horde. If you want to be a paladin, you need to be Alliance. While not as impactful in terms of gameplay, I think the same idea rolls into race selection. When if you want to play an undead, you're making the choice to level in a spooky forest. And if you want to be a night elf, you're going to be questing on top of a giant fucking
Purple
tree.
land.
These decisions help to create investment in the world and your character, something that a new leveling zone potentially devalues. And my final con is that
So make a different one for each race. Problemo solved.
introducing time travel is a
Wait, what? Do you think less of Blizzard now that you know they aren't really base breast milk thieves? Man, I don't know. Listen, I've been calling them cube crawlers and refrigerator for so long. I don't know if I can get it out of my, like, lexicon. I'm just, damn, dude, I'm like, I'm feeling so dejected right now. They destroyed my life. But to be fair, all of this is not really confirmed. We still have to wait and see if, like, it's actually true or not, right? Because we've seen some pictures. We've seen pictures and we've seen text messages. So is it all false? We just kind of have to wait and see.
slippery slope. Time travel has introduced a lot of troublesome plot holes in retail, from is Archimon dead if we killed him in a past version of Draenor, to if Iridikron
No, he's alive as long as Blizzard needs content. There you go, I solved it for you.
can go back in time and steal a powerful artifact for Xalatath, can't you just do the same thing to fight back?
Feet
If
lady.
this was to be explored in Classic Plus, it would need to be done carefully to not introduce these same quirks.
Bro, imagine if Blizzard pulls off a Classic Plus and they put in the Jailer to justify Shadowlands. That would be dope. I'm not gonna... I'm not... And they put, like, the Draxia race just to, like, justify it? Man, that can be so funny. That would be hilarious, actually. Imagine. But, wait, anyway, this is the end of the video?
If you've made it here with me to the end, from the bottom of both mine and Bald but Cute's hearts, thanks for watching. Please leave any thoughts, feedback, or criticisms of the idea, or just about Classic Plus in general. And until next time, stay safe out there.
Damn, incredible video. Incredible video. I'm gonna leave you guys a link immediately so you can give him some love yourself. It was such a great video. There we go. I'm gonna link you guys. We still have much more to watch, but yeah, we got a lot for today, but I am going to link you guys. I'm going to link you guys on Twitch too. It's just such a great video. Go show him some love. Like, truly a fantastic content creator. Damn, that's the first video I actually watched from him. That's impressive. My god, it was so well thought out. Like, he actually built this entire world by himself. And man, I'll never be like, oh my god, it's crazy. It will always impress me how much the fans of World of Warcraft care about the game more than actual Blizzard. It's just insane to me. They're willing to do this for free because it's fun and they want to share their ideas and they want to explore, and they're actual better world builders than whatever Labubu Millennial and Wine Mom you have on the Blizzard crew. Blizzard should really start hiring their fans again. Yeah, do you think Blizzard knows that if they disappoint people with Classic Plus, it can be the beginning of the end of Classic WoW? I think people will play rehashed garbage every single time, because right now the problem with World of Warcraft is not Blizzard itself, actually. It's zero competition. I think that if Classic WoW had real competition and someone made a really good MMORPG, no one would have touched World of Warcraft. I genuinely believe that. But Blizzard right now is lying fat, and because they're allowed to. People are allowing them because there is no competition and people vote with their wallets. If there's nowhere else to go, all the dejected MMO players are instantaneously going to be funneled into the Battle.net account. There is nothing you can do against that. Literally nothing. The problem is no alternative. If there was an alternative, they would have played. So, will be the end of Classic? No. Will it, like, deter players from playing? Yeah, the numbers will go down, obviously. But people would still pay money for Blizzard, and Blizzard would keep making millions. They would not, like, go broke over that. The only way Blizzard goes broke is competition. Like happened with Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals siphoned every last player out of Overwatch, and immediately Blizzard had to do something about it, and they came out with the best patch they ever had for Overwatch. Same thing with Diablo and D4 and Path of Exile. Same thing. I think the problem is that servers like Turtle and Ascension make so much money that they have no incentive to go work for Blizzard. Well, they're out of job now, so there's the incentive. They have no work. They're cooked. Blizzard got them. They have to work for Blizzard. But I don't think Blizzard wants them, because that would be an admission of fault, an admission of incompetency. And Blizzard would never take that L, because they know TurtleWoW and Ascension made product 10 times better than they ever could. There will be no end for Classic WoW. We all just long for a fix to our addiction. We will always chase the unicorn. Yes. Absolutely. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, PoE, my love. Old Flame is so good. Yeah, many people are on PoE. I wish I had time to play it. But basically, that's like the gist of it, right? People will always play Classic, and they will always look for something. You can just pray to God that Blizzard would listen to the fans and people like this who create such amazing content. Like, I would have definitely loved to play a story from level 1 to 5 that kind of gives me a ground for a previous, a previous zone, or a zone that didn't exist, or, sorry, zone that was lost to the ages. I think that's incredible. And also, by this way of storytelling, you can explore so many areas we've never explored in World of Warcraft. That could have been dope. Like, you could have experienced Darkshire and, like, Duskwood before, all the bad stuff kind of happened. You can do all of that, and there's so many incredible small stories to tell through it. I think people would be instantaneously hooked. Regardless, incredible video. My God. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Anything to say? Anything to add? Guys, we have more videos. By the way, don't forget to recommend me stuff on Discord. I'll check real quick if you recommended something. Okay, I don't see. I'm Luminary pilled in both Guild Wars 2 and PoE now because they added Luminary as a new class there. Based. They should have. They should have. By the way, hello to everyone who joined the stream. I've seen many people join the stream. Feel free to chat. It's okay. Dude, why in every fucking Bellular video I get like this white screen thing? It's only on Bellular videos. Anyway, guys, I never watched this video. It's a new one from Bellular. I don't particularly watch Bellular videos, but this kind of caught my attention. But, I don't know. Guys, like, do you know where we're at the Bellular cycle right now? Because I'm feeling kind of lost. Are we in the we're so cooked or we're so back?
Immersion is a word that's been dominating WoW discussion lately, and if you ask anyone about how immersive WoW used to be, you'll probably get the same kinds of answers, that it felt like stepping through a portal to another world. Just think about the original login screen. But if you ask about the last 10 years, I would reckon the answers would change, that WoW doesn't feel as real, that for some reason it feels more like a video game and less like a world that you're sucked into. Now, Krandor and Nixium both released videos on this topic recently, and with very different takes. So I figured we should throw our hat in the ring, and that's because everyone is blaming the same suspects: flying, teleports, an endgame focus. But here's what we realized when we dug through decades of research and scientific publications. Almost everyone's been getting this topic wrong for over 20 years. Because why isn't WoW as immersive anymore is actually the wrong question entirely. WoW's true secret sauce was something else, and one paper from 2005 is a big part of why we forgot it.
As someone who is very, very huge on immersion and would be willing to sacrifice certain aspects of gameplay for it, I can tell you that the only reason that immersion is dead, well, there were like numerous reasons obviously, but the main biggest culprit is gameplay being too fast. Whenever the game is too fast, you don't get to soak in the environment. It's not really a matter of flying, it's a matter of like speed. If you would have waltzed through every single zone from quest to quest like an absolute idiot jackrabbit high on crack, then yeah, it's bad, because you don't get to appreciate the scenery, The small NPCs, the critters, the enemies, you don't get to see all of that. They're all a blur on your screen. And that's a major issue. I think one of the reasons the Wetland Run is so, like, you know, infamous, right? But it's so popular still, is because people just remember it. People just remember how they went through the swampland and eventually reached Menethil Harbor. It was such a great experience. You had to pay attention to your surroundings so you won't get, like, ganked by a raptor or a crocodile that would absolutely decimate your ass. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And now the game is so fast, it will never happen to you. The world doesn't feel as risky anymore. And that's a huge problem. It's just speed. And it's the same with combat. It's the same with, like, every single thing. It's the same with leveling. Like, speed, you need delayed gratification. If you have no delayed gratification, you're bound to have a very, very fleeting game. And nowadays games, they think, like, everything can be Fortnite. Because Fortnite is just queue in, like, have your Labubu millennial dance and do whatever. But it only works because it's Fortnite. It can never work inside of an MMORPG scene, and that's what Blizzard are refusing to understand. That's why they're trying to make World of Warcraft into Fortnite.
In 2005, a paper hit the games industry.
Flying is
with
awful,
one
exactly.
goal: to define
Especially with
immersion
Dragonflight.
in a way games could use going forward. They succeeded, by the way, with almost 1,200 other papers citing it since. Now, their model had three components: sensory, challenge-based, and imaginative. Which all seems self-explanatory, right? Azeroth's beautiful landscapes hit you with a sense of scale. The ambience made it feel vibrant and real. Exploring dense caves full of mobs with an incredibly responsive...
And none of this matters if you would just waltz through everything. Nothing matters if you waltz through everything. Nothing.
Combat system just invited you to lock in. And then the
It's like
feeling
they're looking at the symptoms rather than the disease.
of a big, empty world full of mystery and history, it wormed its way into your mind. So there you go. WoW is immersive by all three categories, right?
Damn!
Job done.
Great video by
Not
Bellular.
quite.
Oh,
Because
shit.
this model of immersion rewrote history, and it changed how the industry and all of us talk about immersion forever. And as a result, we left something behind. And for Blizzard, well, it was maybe the most important part of World of Warcraft. You see, we found something far stronger than immersion. Stronger may not be the ideal word. Rather, it is foundational to immersion being possible in a game like World of Warcraft. You see, you can get lost in a half-decent movie or video game, but you always come back out at the end, right? You leave the cinema. But the thing about WoW is, it really seemed to take it one step further. Immersion just doesn't describe how Classic hit the world harder than any game before, to the point where people would be playing WoW like 20 hours a day, often leading to medical incidents and viral news stories. And the way it felt is whenever you left Azeroth, you almost always wanted to leap right back into it, or think about when you could. You would plan your
Holy
next
shit, wow. Dude, that's so old. Thoughtbot. Jesus, man, that's crazy. And you said data mining didn't exist back in the day. Man, I really wish we could have gone back to the era where the internet wasn't the cesspool it is today. I feel like everything got so fast nowadays and so, like, efficient. We just lost the magic, dude. Like, we don't have that anymore. I really wish we could have gone back to this. I have so many good memories from, like, the old Windows XP. Man, like, I'll never get to experience that again. That world is lost. You clicked a link and you don't know what you're going to get. Either you're gonna get a banger of a video or a Trojan horse. It was incredible.
session, think about your character.
Cheap
think about
WoW
the
goal,
people you're
that, yeah.
playing with. And people are core.
Some
We all share
things
the
never
feeling that
change.
Azeroth is a real place. The sense that things that went on in it mattered, that things would persist, that consequences would matter, and that you're going to Azeroth rather than just playing a video game. And that one step further than immersion has a name. It's actually a feeling, and it is one called presence. And presence is what we've forgotten. But first, a quick Linuxy tangent for anyone who's opened up a terminal, saw the blinking cursor, and quiet.
Oh, is that an ad? Okay, sorry, I'm gonna skip that one because we're kind of short on time. I usually never skip ads, but I respect the grind. But we're short on time.
Telepresence predates World of Warcraft, and it predates just about anyone watching this video. It's actually said to come from a 1940s sci-fi story called Waldo, which is about a severely disabled man who invented remote-controlled robot hands to do what his own hands couldn't. It's
interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Obvious
Can you do
to
like
us now, but
Nah,
remote
I'm not gonna
control
say it.
was a genuinely groundbreaking
Yeah, that's the average, by the way. That's like the average WoW player. That's the guy you're rating with right now.
bit of tech back then. Waldo, with this technology,
The
was
average
able to
classic WoW
exist
player.
somewhere that his body couldn't.
Shoot
Now,
an
that's
eye
the core
fireball.
of telepresence, and it's an idea that struck with readers of that story. Readers like Marvin Minsky, the man who established MIT's AI lab and who is one of the fathers of AI. Of course, I mean that in the computer science sense, so very much back before people just thought AI. Oh, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Now,
AI is my friend and he loves me. True. Man, humanity's truly devolving. Like, we're literally going back to the ape and AI is just going to farm us for batteries. I'm sure of it. Like, the Matrix wasn't a movie, it was a prediction. It was a prophecy. Yeah, even with not knowing what you get clinking a link, people were scammed way less than now. Well, because people were actually smarter back in the day, and also scammers got way, way more efficient. Like, they know how to do it. They got some tricks. Yeah, is this the latest video from Bellular? It is.
Marvin's part of this video because...
Yeah, Bellular talking around the problems as usual. Yeah. I'm just... Hey, it's a Bellular video, right? We gotta go. Listen, I really like Bellular as, like, a person, but I understand he's, like, that's his job. He can never, like, call it out straight. That's why I'm here for.
Of his pioneering essay on telepresence.
That's why you have me.
Cemented the idea in futurist thought of workers using robots in dangerous environments, technology letting you exist somewhere that your body couldn't. Now, the first application of this was a little bit less inspired, but it was quite funny. It was a company called Teleport, founded in 1993, that sold video conferencing as teleportation, where executives could be somewhere beautiful and technology would beam them away from their boring boardrooms. Laughable now, but it forced the question that really matters for this video. How could technology make you feel presence? Like you were truly somewhere else? Well, in 1997, two researchers set out to figure out what this feeling was. And here's what they found. Presence has 6 components, and this is where things get weird and interesting. And that's because immersion as we know it was only one part of the whole thing. Another one was realism, and it came in 2 flavors, where presence comes from something being realistic to the real world, but also from something called perceptual realism, which basically is the thing being realistic to itself. Now, you kind of could have guessed those things already, and it's really the other 4 that set WoW apart. You know the way we would just jump at each other in WoW, or maybe throw a buff on a random player running past us? Yeah,
yes.
Well, that is actually what the research calls...
I always love getting random thorns from Druid. It lasts for like 3 minutes and I'm like, damn, that's the most useless garbage I ever gotten in my life, but I appreciate that homie so much for doing that for me.
Intimacy, and along with immediacy, it is a key part of, quote, presence as social richness. Of course, to our social human brains, that richness makes us feel there and present. If you throw a
love your
heal to
vids, keep
help
telling
a
the
player
painful
as you
truth.
run
Thank you
past,
so much,
they
man.
might whisper
Thank you so much. I
back and
appreciate
say
that.
Thanks. That's presence. Specifically, it's when the
I'll
interaction
keep
feels,
doing that.
quote, sociable, warm, sensitive, personal, or intimate. Now, the next 2 parts can be bundled together. There is presence as a social actor within the medium, and then there's the reverse of that, which basically is parasocial behavior, aimed at something in the game or at the game itself. And that can be as simple as you literally thanking your pet for saving your life because your pet got a crit, or maybe cursing the game for refusing to drop your item. Essentially, the more social engagement with the game, parasocial included, the stronger the sense of presence. But then the final part is maybe the most important.
Well, I mean, you really didn't have to look for video games to find out that's true. Just watch the average person watch a football game. Like, my father still yells at the screen like the player is going to be like, damn, you're right. I should have really, like, kicked to that corner. Like, damn, that's crazy. Like, people have always done that, I assume. It's just ever since, like, the circus was invented. So, it is, like not a unique World of Warcraft thing, but it is applicable. I think it's like, enhanced in video games because you're way more present.
Because it's what
Which
ties
is
all
the point of
this
the video.
together. And it is presence as teleportation. In other words, what takes you from your computer chair to Azeroth itself? Well, these researchers determined that being transported actually has
severe hair loss.
3 components. There is you are there, which is the bit we usually laser focus on today. And certainly all the conversation about flying mounts, quest markers, and too much revealed lore kind of falls into that. And what this first of our 3 components also covers is pretty much all the immersive stuff we've talked about so far and the social stuff. The basic idea that the more you impact the world, the more you embody your character. It's all presence as transportation. But let's get to the second. The second is called It Is Here. And it's quite funny. It is, as an example, early film audiences fleeing from an oncoming train because they hadn't really seen a film before, and the idea of a train hurtling towards them felt really weird. That's a fun little one, and hey, if you pop on a VR headset and something is so realistic it actually spooks you out, maybe you're feeling some of that. But for us, what really matters is the third component, and that component is we are together. That's what they call it. And you see, these researchers found that the presence of other people in a virtual environment was a major component of feeling transported to that environment. Basically, the more you feel like you share that virtual world with other people, well, because you know those people are real, then the more real that place feels.
Yep, and this is why botting is such a huge problem in retail WoW nowadays, because the world feels fake. And dude, that's so true. Like, you hit the nail right on the head there. Like, that's absolutely crazy. And that's why also it's so important to have like tight-knit communities and like I wouldn't call it smaller servers, but some sort of a way, maybe a layering system or a very like intricate system that makes sure that you're seeing other players at all times, no matter which zone you go to, because it's always feels bad whenever you play like a dead zone. Right? Nobody want to level in a dead zone. You want to see other people going around, even if you're not interacting with them, because MMO players, like, what, 70 to 80% of them play alone, right? Like, most of them are solo players. They still want to see other people. It's the chance of you might getting to interact with someone, is seeing some other person and like character and knowing there's a person behind it. It's like that feeling of presence. It's like you're not alone. It's a shared space. That's the cool part. That's why it's so important to actually nail this. And that's why I hate leveling in retail, because the world just feels dead. And it is.
And of course, the researchers, were only talking about 1995's version of Zoom calls. Imagine what they'd say about World of Warcraft. So, what we've learned here is that presence goes beyond just immersion. It goes beyond the game having challenge and having sound effects and visuals that just feel really authentic to itself. No, presence is what gives us that sense of Azeroth as a real place. It's the feeling that you were going there, not just playing a game. And when we think about World of Warcraft as a
social
phenomenon,
game.
well, WoW was as big as it was because it felt like more than a game. Above anything else, it is that it was a world that mattered. And I think everyone intuitively knows that. Do you know who's one of those people?
Holly, oh my
Holly
god!
Longdale gets it, though.
Fuck no! Oh my god, dude. I never left a dislike on a Belgar video. Guys, that might be a first. I'm sorry, Holly Wine Mom Longdale is not getting anything, son. If she got anything right, she would have called it Warcraft. She's so afraid to even say so. It's, what are we even talking about this? She got nothing. She literally butchered EverQuest, and they brought her to destroy World of Warcraft from within. This is the war within. It's Holly Longdale. In the Blizzard headquarters, she should get the boot. If Microslop wants any chance of Blizzard Revival and Classic Plus to actually be good and bring in the bacon, they should fire her instantaneously.
She hasn't seen the research and stuff we've talked about today, and she may not actually know that she gets it. But it's certainly good news that she gets it. Now, let me explain.
What? Oh, man, I bet that... We gotta read the comments after this one. We gotta read the comments after this one. I think Bellier is just losing it, man. Like, this is getting out of hand.
And how we know that. In a WoW Discord Q&A back in March, Holly talked about World of Warcraft's role as what's called a third place. Now, what
everyone knew that.
Place? Well, the first place is your home.
He drank the Kool-Aid? Brother, he made the Kool-Aid factory, broke through the wall, and then drank the entire thing up.
home, where you spend time with your family, where you do a lot of your life. The second place is work or school, essentially the place you're obligated to be. The third place, then, is a public place you choose to be. And when this term was popularized in 1989, it referred to things like, say, churches, bars, and cafes. The short explanation is that a third place is somewhere that is fun, convenient, open, and most importantly, social. So if you hung out at the mall as a teenager, the mall was your third place. If you played World of Warcraft, Azeroth was your third place. And if you played World of Warcraft in the earlier days, it wasn't.
If you had friends, you went to the mall. No friends, Azeroth. There we go. I said it in like the simple terms.
Azeroth, it was your
It was kind of obfuscating.
It was your server, because back then servers mattered. You would run into the same people in general chat and in town. For a lot of us then, your guild would also become your found family, who may as well have been people who literally live in Azeroth, because that's where you'd all hang out together. And for a poignant, real example of that, look at the story of Iblin. By all accounts, he lived a rich life with his guild that, because of the challenges he faced in real life, basically otherwise impossible for him. But look what WoW was able to give him. Now, of course, it wasn't only WoW. Sometimes guildies would be on forums, or maybe MSN Messenger, or
Oh
AIM.
my god.
But it was still on your PC.
Anyone remembers his ICQ number? I sure don't. But my god, it was lovely. Baron's chat, to be exact. Where's the Menquirk wife? If you ask that in the chat, you'll get every single answer except the correct one.
That you logged into WoW with. Now don't worry, I'm not going to go on a misty-eyed rant about the past here. But this stuff is a large part of what made Azeroth real, and a 2006 paper actually delved into online games as third places and came to the conclusion that they absolutely definitely are, which I think does seem obvious to all of us by now. So, World of Warcraft established presence, and so it became your third place, where you lived out part of your life, a part that, as opposed to the first and second space, was one that
She's
you
in
very
Stone
much
Talon?
actively chose
Yeah, just keep
because it was
searching.
your discretionary free time. Now that sense of place, socially, is what made all that social
It's actually one of the
presence
better
and,
answers.
as we covered earlier in the video, transportation stick. And in ways that it just doesn't today. All those immersive details we've talked about over the years do matter, but nothing matters more than WoW feeling like a real place that we go to. But sadly, since at least Cataclysm, Blizzard have known that they're making a game, not a world. Now I think Holly intuitively understands that, and Holly does want WoW to be a third place again. She's literally talked about it. So the question is,
Yes, that's why we get the Rainbow Mafia to indoctrinate us with more Rainbow Fury propaganda. True. She gets it. She gets it. That's why we got the best event in World of Warcraft history, the Darkspear Troll Dash event. For an organization that is unbeknown to anyone, and it's just, what are we even talking about here? How can you even say such a thing? I bet he got cooked in the comments. I'm really waiting to see that. It's such a, I don't know why he does that, man. Listen, it's one thing to play safe for Blizzard's sake, because, you know, money's money, right? But to say Holly's actually getting it, it's not even stretching it. It's just a straight up lie.
is that even possible?
Is it kidding? I'm afraid not.
Take a look at this recent Reddit thread that popped off. It raised the argument that always comes up when anyone gets too nostalgic. Do we all just miss that time in our lives when we played WoW, when we had less responsibilities, and really Azeroth was the main thing we cared about? And honestly, it's not much of an argument because to most of us, it is obviously true, and obviously a major part of the discussion. You probably have, these days, less time and more responsibility. And even science backs that up. They measure your ability to get immersed with a trait that they call absorption. And that trait, absorption, has been shown to decrease just a little bit with age. That's only a
It's
small
chilling
part
too
of it,
close to
though.
the sun.
There is, of course, an elephant hiding in your pocket. I know, it may come as a shock. It's called your phone. We're all pretty much mind-broken by the attention economy these days. If you play WoW without a second monitor or a podcast playing, you're definitely in the minority. And I think to some of us, playing WoW with just the in-game sounds may feel like being sonically naked. I mean, if you told me that you don't alt-tab all the time or don't pick up your phone during a long flight, I'd struggle to believe you. Now, this is of course not a new problem, but it is worse than it's ever been. Back in the classic days, you probably had one monitor. Your PC probably struggled to alt-tab out of WoW. Never mind run a...
Just press the turbo button. Just press the turbo button. It will never cook your PC, trust me.
Picture-in-picture video or podcast. Your phone, if you had one, wasn't a full multimedia device full of algorithmically driven feeds and gambling apps and bullshit to scroll through. Maybe you had a podcast or some music
the
on,
good old
but
days.
Generally, you were more focused, immersed, present. Your attention constantly being pulled away kills that immersion, and by doing so, it kills the sense of presence. Because if you're checking your phone, you're not in Azeroth. You can't fully enjoy WoW or anything if you're not
Turn WoW into a mobile game. Problemo solved.
present in the experience.
And it will happen,
That's
by the
something
way.
society largely has to grapple with. Crucially, it's something that WoW has to fight for. If WoW slows down, there's ways that could be a better game. But the more attention-grabbing things around you will eat WoW's lunch. And that is a part of why Hardcore Classic is actually so beloved, because the stakes, being so high, force you to focus. It's also why Modern WoW feels like an endless deluge of bite-sized content. It's because
it
kind of has to be bite-sized content in order to survive in the modern...
No, just they're incapable of making a good game. It's their only reason they're making bite-sized content is because they want to sell you an expansion as quick as possible before they flow off into the next one. They can't even handle an 8-week cycle patch. It's super broken, it's so buggy to the point where the Lua boss actually had a command prompt popping up in the middle of the raid, and they knew about it during PTR, and it's still shipped to the live game. It's insane. It's not because they have to, it's because they're incapable of creating anything good. It's like, what are we even talking about here? Just insane. Yeah, I've been playing with one monitor my entire life. What? Dude, everyone has like 2 monitors. Like it's like basic nowadays. Even I have one. To be fair, the second monitor is like the old one and it's like really small, but still, you need it. Yeah, BlackBerry was the last good phone. After BlackBerry, it's not a phone anymore. Based. Retail isn't playable. I've tried. Yeah, same.
An environment.
You're not alone.
That seems to be Blizzard's hypothesis. Now, all that technological and cultural change means that modern WoW can never risk trying to be a full world. Now, on the bright side, it can continue being a damn good game. But Holly, I don't think the third place plan can really work as good as I think we all wish it could. And there is one giant thing blocking the path to that.
Holly.
Azeroth
She's the
could never
giant
be a
thing.
third place because the internet is no longer really a place. Your phone is in your pocket at all times. You probably have a laptop. You have a legion of alts, none of whom are your virtual self. Not in the way that back in the day you'd have a character in a big online game and it would be your avatar. No. Back in the 90s, people were collectively obsessed with the internet as a different world. The novel Snow Crash gave the
High
metaverse
speed.
its name and its shape
1K.
all the way back in 1992. Then hackers in 1995 visualized the internet as a radical 3D space. And as MMOs started to show up, they got the same treatment. Second Life's name kind of speaks for itself. And take a look at this. The anime.hack sign was about mystery and relationships in a fictional MMO that was literally called The World. You see, back then, you had to sit at your chunky PC, perform the ritual of dial-up connection, and then transport
Man,
yourself.
that sound is,
And the way we talked about it back then
he's bringing
was of
back
you
memories.
going online. Of course, these days, you've actually got to make effort to be offline, because online is kind of the default. Really, with phones, the internet and reality have merged.
Yeah, true. It's so crazy to me that the moment like you go out without your phone, like so many people are like looking for you and stuff. And whenever I see something like this, I'm like, damn. Like 30 years ago, nobody was like that, and people were fine. And it's like now people are so attached to their phones, they can't go a second without it. It's just crazy how humanity has changed in just a couple of decades. I mean, once AI will truly explode and like farm us for batteries, guys, we're cooked. We're cooked. I don't know how we're going to handle things. Like, humanity is going to act completely different. Video games are going to be different. Like, I really don't see a hope for that future. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's just, damn. It's kind of it became a doom post, but still, my God, it's just going in such a bad direction, I have to be honest.
And if you take a look into the research around embodied intelligence and a bunch of things like that and tool use, Oh boy, the way that we all do literally just walk around with our phones just always attached to our hands is a little bit spooky. And it's spooky for WoW. You see, social media has bridged the entire world, such that we can all exist together in one lovely big blend of offline and online.
Yeah, that's so good. I really need to know that a guy at the other side of the world hates me. I really needed that. Thank you. I love the internet.
You might still live an online heavy life and have online friends, but they don't feel like they live in a different world. They just feel like people far away. You talk to them on Discord or Battle.net with the little box that lives in your pocket. And what we see is that modern culture doesn't see game worlds or even the internet as a unique and distinct place in the same way that we used to see it 20 or 30 years ago. Now, you could argue that small Discord servers are, in some way, one of the last true digital third spaces left. And here's a fascinating thing that backs that up. The actual research on what a third space is reports this, where researchers have noticed that adding competitive, sports-like elements instead of, say, free play actually breaks what a third space is. Now, if you take a look at any of the major social media platforms, what do you see? Well, technically they're social hangouts, but the objectives of you as a poster are kind of different. I mean, on Twitter, what do people want? They want big numbers. That's why Discord does stand out as one of the last bastions of the third space, because it is your own Discord server and community. Now, with all that established, let's get back to WoW. WoW's position as being game first, social hangout second, kind of disqualified.
Did he say gay first? Because he's right about that. That's literally retail entire thing.
And it's the same with basically every other MMO on the market these days. It's almost as if game and place are on the spectrum, and every decision
then he was wrong.
toward
My bad.
game can end up moving you away from place, away from the presence that made WoW feel so special. Now that may sound a little bit weird and academic, but just think about it this way. Think about the verbs that we tend to use. You don't meet your friends in World of Warcraft. You play WoW with them while you hang out in Discord. Discord is a place, the other thing is just a game you're playing. Now obviously, Ventrilo and TeamSpeak existed long before, but they were always secondary. Guild chat was always first.
Because World of Warcraft became a second monitor game and everyone knows that. You're just playing like an NPC, it's not fun anymore. You don't get to immerse yourself in the vast open world and actually care about what's going on your screen. You're just a rabbit going from A to B and just chasing the carrot.
Although Discord has taken over as the primary social hangout. Everyone is on Discord before they're on WoW together. And the way Blizzard are introducing Discord to World of Warcraft's guild chat proves that Blizzard knows that. It's a brilliant move, but it's also a white flag. Discord won. Blizzard has had to give up and acquiesce. They know Discord is where people hang out by default, so now WoW is just going to plug itself into that. Because WoW cannot replace Discord anymore. Basically, Discord won, and now WoW is growing dependent on Discord to function socially. Even if, say, housing is massively successful and people hang out in and around their houses, well, the reagents for that third place magic just do not exist in the same way that they used to, not back in the day, and for all the reasons and the research that we've went through today. At the very least, not on the scale that Holly seems to want. So, it seems then that while WoW can be immersive when you turn all your extra music and podcasts off and you just enjoy the landscapes and the verse and the art and the sound, well, for presence, is there any hope?
Camelot. That's classic plots, by the way.
Third place, not with how the internet works today. And I mean that in general.
You're dead wrong about this. You're like, literally the wrongest statement I've ever heard in my entire life. It can be a third place, just make the game good. It's like, stop. Stop thinking these people like today are just like boglemites who can't think on their own and are just too addicted to the internet. It's like they all think, I think they're just content creators in general. Their view is so skewed of the world. They just think everyone is like that, like, you know, cloud-chasing fiends and rat demons that only cares about the next social stuff popping off. It's like, what are we talking about? Most people just want to have fun and play great games. Like, these people never left their home since, I don't know, the 2000s. It's just, what are we doing here? It's such a stupid statement. Why would you even claim that? It's so false. I can't even begin to describe how bad it was. Like, it's not true. Just get out of your bubble. If all you do is search Reddit threads and Twitter posts, then yeah, you're going to think everyone is like insane on the internet. But no, just people chooses to willingly detach themselves from that. That's why I made like my Twitter account, what, like 2 years ago, something like that. I have 0 posts. I don't post because I don't have anything of importance to say. I should start probably posting something, I don't know, to get some traction, I guess, because, you know, I'm trying to make it full time, but I mean, what are we doing? I just want to have fun. That's the gist of it. Such a cringe claim.
Want WoW to be able to function as a third space? I would say get into role-playing and find an RP server that takes that seriously.
Yeah, true. You have to be a furry weeb to actually get into World of Warcraft and make it your home. True. Based.
But for the rest of us...
Absolutely.
No, WoW is not
going
to become a third place
Sorry.
than it used to. But the silver lining is that the presence that modern WoW has abandoned is still possible. And how we know that is WoW Classic. You see, a study published in 2022 surveyed players on what they felt from Classic's relaunch. Nostalgia, of course, was there, but more importantly, the social presence and what's called sense of place were massive for these people. And they found a promising trend, that these two things were actually linked, that when players felt more social presence, they felt a stronger sense of place within Azeroth. Now, for a second, this is going to get really weird. You see, for those actively playing Classic, what ended up happening is that sense of place actually weakened. Now, the researchers suggest that this is down to revisiting the game with way more of a gameplay focus. And that does track whenever you watch, say, other content creators trying out WoW for the first time. For one example, GBay99 has been documenting his dive into Warcraft.
His videos are goated.
Fresh eye, and he's thoroughly enjoying it in many of the ways that people did back in 2004. If then there was a new Classic, divorced from nostalgia and less gameplay focused in the way that we see gameplay today, which I would argue is more narrow than it was in the past, then it might stand a chance of emulating that original launch. Now,
yes,
not to put too much pressure on the devs here, but
if Blizzard make Classic Plus exactly like Turtle WoW has, you're going to see some numbers you've never seen before, and probably, like, at the very least, like TBC level of subscriptions. And by the way, like, you don't really need to go far as to prove it. Just look at what Turtle WoW did as a private server. Many people don't trust private servers, and that's why they didn't play Turtle WoW, even though it was, like, free to play. And if Blizzard makes this official, you're going to see some insane numbers. And people would instantaneously play World of Warcraft again.
Classic Plus. You see, if modern WoW is locked into being a season-based, gameplay-focused game, big capital G, all caps underlined, that's super engaging.
Why is this guy speaking in Old English?
Can be something
I
different.
don't know.
Classic Plus can be a world. And Blizzard did not pick the Camelot codename by accident. It is, of course, King Arthur's mythological castle, often considered an eternal utopia, and not in the milk and honey way, but in the fighting for chivalry until the bitter end way. That's an exciting idea, and maybe it's just a cool name, and they...
I couldn't give less shit about which name Blizzard chose for their product. I just want it to be good. I don't like this whole prelude of, oh, Blizzard is going to cook hard with this one. They called it Camelot. Yeah, maybe they wanted to call it Camelot, but, you know, they thought, oh, you know what, we already have too much stuff on our head right now, so maybe it's not a good idea. So they just changed it. Like, I couldn't give less of a damn. It's so crazy. Like, what are we talking about here? We're grasping at straws, man. I think WoW players, they've lost their minds. They've lost their mind. And listen, I'm partially undead too. So I get it. I get it. Like, we're grasping at the last hope we have. But this is embarrassing.
Just want to make a game for the super attached endgame Classic lovers. But I hope
it's getting out of hand, guys.
I hope they are going to make a real world instead. I think it'll never reach the heights of the original Classic, also known as World of Warcraft. But that's just because we live in a different world now, and I don't think it'll be able to fully achieve that for all the reasons I've laid out in this video. But I think it can be good, and I think it can have a sense of presence that is vastly beyond what we've had in modern WoW lately. But that doesn't mean that modern WoW cannot learn from all this research into presence. And should Blizzard need an opportunity and an excuse to do that, well, The Last Titan is the end of a big saga, so what better time to make some change? All that Blizzard has to do is read a dozen or so scientific papers from 30 years ago.
Or use their brains and watch what classic World of Warcraft did with Turtle WoW and Ascension and learn from that. Easy.
And integrate them into their game design. There you go. Easy as that. People have been talking about immersion. That's good. I love to see it. But as we've learned today, immersion is not even the half of it. Because...
Damn. Okay, anyway, that's it. I'm not gonna lie, this video had made me, like, super tired. That was such a... That was such a roller coaster. It started off good, and then, like, Beliar completely derailed. I don't know what it's going through. I'm just, my god. That was a hard watch. That was definitely a difficult watch, guys. Holy crap. Like, my days. I don't even know what to say about this. It was fucking embarrassing. Holy shit. Wait, let's see if you guys recommended something. I want to check one more video. I don't have time, unfortunately, to play something. I only have half an hour before I have to close out the stream. Is there any video? Oh, yeah, you have recommended something. What the fuck is that? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm seeing your recommendation. Wait, who is Valera again on Discord? You guys stop having different nicknames. I'll check out a video. Wait, give me 1 second. What the fuck is that? World of Gymcraft? The fuck? That sounds insane. What is this?
Anduin, I just don't feel like...
What the fuck? Wait, hold? Is this real? The hell is that? What the fuck? Oh, what? What the hell, guys? Are you serious? Wait, let me shut off the music. Okay. Who the hell recommended this? What is that?
And I just
World of Gymcraft. Warcraft character train Asmongold?
don't feel like lifting today, okay?
Zack, you must lift or you will stay scrawny for eternity. We must use the light to get you gains.
He doesn't need the light, little lion. He needs the fel.
No, he doesn't need fel. I know what he needs.
Hellfire balding cream!
Are you all saying that my balding is showing?
No, Zack. But the only way to stop you from balding is to max out
Look
your
at his
strength
fingers.
stats.
Listen here, Zack. Do you have any honor? Look at those that have made the gains before you. How are we supposed to save Azeroth with you looking like a twig?
You all have motivated me. I shall put talent points into my gains and max my strength stat IRL.
Easy. Oh my god, whoa, he's getting there. What the fuck? What is that?
What are we if not slaves to the gym?
My entire bicep must be purged. Zack, you've done it. You finished a workout.
I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done.
What? Oh my god, what was it? Wait, World of Gymcraft Wrath of the Lift? What the fuck? Oh my god, ain't no way. Is this like a series? That's the first time I watched that.
Ever since you did your first squat, I knew you were born for great quads. But all you ever wanted was to bicep curl.
Father, why
Oh,
won't my
man.
bicep grow?
Arthas Menelift, you must not skip leg day.
My entire bicep must be purged.
I can't watch you do this.
I won't train biceps with you, Arthas, until you train leg day.
I watched as your friends and family tried to stop you from growing into the monster you would become. The Lift King.
I have trained legs every day to hunt you, but I have failed in surpassing your biceps.
Damn, she couldn't reach that.
The Natty Crusade comes for you, Arthas. We will wipe out your army of roid rages.
Flex Ring. You cannot stop my army of growth. We have the finest blueberry-flavored Tren and TRT in Northrend.
No way.
The finest...
No way. Wait, is that like an entire series? Dog. World of Gymcraft. Oh my fuck. Wow.
Anduin, I just don't feel like lifting today.
Okay, that's the first one. That's the entire series. Okay, we already watched that part?
What are we if not...
Oh my god.
For great quads.
That's crazy good. That...
Bodybuilders across...
Okay, wait, no. This is one.
The finest blueberry flavor.
Northrend, you underestimate the power of the Fel.
Okay, this is it. This is it, the entire series.
Bring them before the gym.
Morgaine. Oh my god. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's so cringe. No. It's good.
This power. Why is it so powerful yet so natural?
You idiot! The Lift King has sent you to your doom. Did your father not tell you that Natty's strength will always prevail over the roids?
Quiet, old man, or this may be the last lift you will ever pump.
My dear boy.
Father, you're back. I want to lift heavy with you at the gym like the others.
Darian Morgaine, one day you will lift the Gainsbringer, and you shall be an inspiration to bodybuilders across this land. But that day is not today.
No.
You must be patient in your gains.
Very flexing. His gains are mine now.
You're a damned roid rager, you abomination. I will outlift you, right here, right now.
Battle of the Great Lift.
Hungers.
What is this power? It is taking my gains.
Is that like
as I lift
Frostmourne?
Oh no, my gains are depleting.
That day is not today. Flex ring. Here, take the Gainsbringer.
Come on. Dude, are you actually
Impossible.
kidding me?
No one can outlift me. This can't be happening.
You have underestimated the power of natural lifting.
The next we meet Natty Boy, it will be at my mega gym. This isn't over.
The
You got
Natty
him.
Crusade comes for you, Arthas. We will outlift you anywhere, anytime.
Wow.
As we approached the
Gainsbringer
way
versus
gate,
Swallmorn.
the stench of roids and protein powder filled our lungs. The horrible stench of expired whey protein the abomination secreted was surely horrifying.
Swallwar Bold
I like
Dragon.
protein powder. Me eat whey protein all day, every day for rest of life.
As the Lift King approached, his army of undead lifters squatted the gate open.
Oh god.
They called these ones the Urge, because they had an insatiable urge for more roids and whey powder. But
They
as
were
the
like
Lift
Twitch
King was about
streamers.
to squat his final rep, the perfect Forsaken arrived.
Did you think we had not flexed? We are the Forsaken. We will outlift the Urge, and we will outlift the Natties.
That's the apothecary.
Swarm on us.
The plague doctor.
Know that I will retake my gains from the Lift King.
My god.
Father, is my workout over?
At long last, my son. No pump lasts forever.
I see only plateau before me.
In the end,
How is
you
it
will
so
always need
good?
to be a Lift King.
Why, like, it
I
sounds so
wanna stay
right.
Natty, but only I can take this responsibility.
Flex ring.
Volkvar, how are you still so small?
Volkvar.
Flex ring.
Yeah.
Place the barbell in my hands. I should be the one to carry this weight. The form of the natural can no longer get me gains.
Okay, Volkvar, if you say so. Stay swole, my brother.
He's raging. Damn.
So his workout is finally done. I have spent many years trying to hunt for his roids, so I can get my gains up just like him. But to no avail. What workout is there left for me to do now that I have attained my goals?
There is always more gains to be made, little one.
Inspirational.
You dare step foot on our swoley ground? The Swole Crusade will
Damn.
purify the roids out of your system.
Actually, whoa.
Come then, outsiders. You want to test our faith in the Swole?
It's like...
We natty elves have been lifting in silence. We have long been training. We will attain a new level of Swole through the power of the natty.
Buff your
May the
leader.
Gain Goddess guide us. Your Swole Chief Swolvanas took our gains. Tell her we are lifting.
This is a true story of Warcraft, by the way. That's what I'm going to tell my children. If I have any, because I'm a WoW player. Yeah, they're just lifting out there in the forest. They're dedicated. Wait, isn't Sylvanas like saying
weary lifter.
Ishnu-lifter?
Welcome to the Gain Forest.
I will find Piladin Roidrage one day and outlift him.
Ishnu Lift. I am TRT Randa, the Gain Warrior.
So stupid. I mean, isn't Sylvanas' one quote is like, I have no time for games? Or for the games, but it can change that.
The Natty Forest will never outlive the calorie burning of the fire gym.
Welcome to Doubtland. The land here puts doubts in your mind that you can make your gains and achieve your goals. Truly the best training ground for gym rats like myself. 10,000 years I have trained. I started from nothing. They threw me in a cage to rot, but that cage became my new power. Isolation lifts. Remember, mortals, gains are not given. They are earned. Train
He's like
hard,
Uncle Iroh in the
your
Avatar,
adversaries,
the last Airbender.
And unleash the demon within. That is the only way we will outlift the bulking legion. I, Pilladan Roid Rage, will conquer the realm of gains. And for those not worthy of the lift, those who doubt me and my abilities,
You are not prepared.
Oh god. Some of the like things actually click so hard.
Why did you have to lift so hard, Bejuicer?
Oh,
You
he
could have just
returned.
made my $2 steaks and not lifted.
you will be remembered as the Swole, who lifted for nothing. I lifted for Absaroth.
Wow. It's happening. That's Asmongold with hair. It's the most like AI thing here. So unreal.
You never stopped lifting. Even here, where you surpassed your PR. I can't do this, Bejuicer. I can't be as swole as you were.
Damn.
But Juicer's lifts were indeed heavy. They were his challenge to us, to never stop lifting. Even if you play World of Warcraft and have no life.
I can't believe that. How did this happen? Guys, they got cooked. Asmund stays scrawny. What can you do about that? Poor lad. He couldn't make it out there.
What am I supposed to lift now?
What a Swole must lift.
Oh, the music changed? Wait, hold. Oh, shit. Whoa. Wait, he's getting there. Shalagain. He got it. Dude, that's him. That's his final form. Wow. World of Gymcraft. The bulking
lifted,
legion.
But he has yet to feel the power of the Tren.
Wow. Dude, what the heck? It was so stupid. What the hell have I just watched and why it was so good? Oh my days. Oh dude, that was so insane. Yeah, but they're really swollen up. Yeah. No, that actually got me. That actually got me. I did not expect that. It was so funny. I guess it was made in a time where AI like wasn't as good. But damn, it was funny nonetheless. Like I did not expect it. What a way to end the stream on. Thank you for whoever sent that. It was like so fucking stupid. Wait, I'm playing Ascension, Conquest of Azeroth. If Blizzard takes it down, that's it. I'm not playing no private server ever. I don't want to waste my time. You are wasting your time. It will be taken down 100%. But let me give you a different perspective on that. You're not really wasting your time as long as you're having fun. You should play Ascension knowing that it's about to be shut down. Just like I looked at Turtle WoW and I knew it's about to be shut down. Yeah, imagine if Asmund showed up shredded one day. True. That would be insane. That would be insane. I used to go to the gym like a couple of months ago, and then I started streaming, and like I can't have a real, like I have a day job, so I can't have a day job, a gym, and like stream for 3 to 4 hours a day. Unfortunately, right? So it's just like one of those it is what it is moment. I had to give up something, and I really didn't want to give up streaming as I just started. So that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, guys. Damn, we had a great day today. Unfortunately, I have to cut it like 1 hour short. Usually I stream for 4 hours because I have something to play. I think we're gonna like chill with reactions towards the next couple of days. We just I've pretty much caught up on every single video, unless we have some massive news. I don't think like there's any reason like to cover anything unless we like watch a really cool video, maybe like 1 or 2. That's it. We're gonna focus more on video games, so probably like more Warcraft and Guild Wars 2 in the next couple of days. It's definitely going to be a good one. Let me just check something real quick. Just click here. Okay, never mind. Thought I saw something. So yeah, anyway, guys, we had a great day today. We had a lot of people watching. I'm glad. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll see you pretty much soon. Have a good one. Keg bye. Keg bye. I'll see you guys very, very soon. See you tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow I won't be able to stream. So definitely Saturday. Definitely Saturday. Have a good one, boys. Make sure to like the videos on YouTube, by the way. Like the algorithm is kind of screwing with me. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.